Hey, we doing? It's Super Sunday here at LBI as we get ready for match number 3. It's day number 2. Another day game ahead of us, and today seems to be the coolest of them all because, as you can see, perhaps by here, what's left of it, it's a strong breeze coming across the ground from the east, and it's really cooling this afternoon. Well, other than that, conditions are pristine for this big match. Anacondas against the Piranhas, both teams playing their first game today. Nice windy conditions again, nice sun, and the pitch, a little bit of sprinkle this morning by the groundsmen because yesterday it was pretty dry, but we saw 2 games completed. One, because of a little bit of issues, had to be delayed a little bit. All right, so toss, very important, but what about the 22 yards? We want to hear from Indrajit Prasad, who had a very close look at the 22 today.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the middle of the LBI Community Center on the east coast of Demerara, where second round action begins. The Piranhas, they will be taking on the Anacondas. And we look at this 22 yards, valuable real estate for both teams. If we can recall, chasing down 176 for victory, that was easily done yesterday. And you look at the pitch, it's kind of gray. There's some dark patches on it, which suggests we are having a little bit of moisture. The good things is that there aren't many cracks. There's small cracks that shouldn't be causing any problem whatsoever for both teams. The concern, though, however, is that because of the nature of the pitch, 2 matches completed here so far, I think that the bounce might be very uneven. That might cause some problem for the batters who will have to adjust themselves because of the extra bounce sometimes it's going to be low. And I think it's going to favor spinning as well as we prolong with the matches. Like I said, it's hard. And once you can give it that tweak, it will definitely present some opportunity for the spinners. It means that the batters will have to dig in here and play their natural game. LBI Community Center, there's a strong wind coming in from the eastern part of the ground, as well as you look around this place here. Wonderful village of LBI, and we heard that this pitch here has presented numerous runs on occasions, but let's face reality, it is being played for just a third match. 2 played yesterday, those were the 2 first, and today will be third. Who's going to score the most runs? We shall see later in the evening.
That Indrajit is right, that with the strong breeze, we can have some sixes flying close to where the spectators will be gathered this afternoon. It's Sunday, we expect families to come out, and this area is known for lots of cricket. So yes, it will be a magnificent day. All right, so you mentioned the pitch, you mentioned the toss, because everything else seems favorable. They always say the toss is 50-50, but it's still a decision someone will have to make, whether they want to ride with that decision or they may want to think that they've made a wrong decision. Let's head to the middle now with the captains. The toss for match number 3 of the Guyana Cricket Board T20 Cricket League. John Ramsing here with the captains. We have for the Escribo Jaguars, Anthony Adams. Escribo Anacondas, Anthony Adams, and the Berbice Piranhas, Jonathan Rampasad. Our match referee today is Nankumar Shiv Sankar, the former head teacher. They said once a teacher, always a teacher. Anthony, I think you have the toss. Add a coin. It is a tail. Jonathan Rampasad won the toss. What would you do and why?
Well, we have a ball first. I think when you look at the games, the wicket already up had a little moisture yesterday. If you look at the wicket, I think the ball will hold up a bit in the wicket.
Right. So bowling first, you must have in mind a plan what you want to restrict your opposition to.
I think anywhere around 150 will be chaseable on this wicket.
All right. Well, go well. It's your first game, so go well. So Skip, the Anacondas will have an opportunity to bat first on this 22. How does it look to you?
I would have batted for us on the pitch. From the past 2 games, runs on the board is very important on this pitch. It could be difficult, especially if you put the batters under pressure. So we're going to try to put some runs on the board and exploit their weakness.
Right. So I know your team. I saw the squad before your final 11. Lots of left arm spin. How do you find your final 11?
Um, I'm a fan of spin bowling, so having three left arm spinners in my team makes me feel good, confident that I can go in the game with weapons, unique type bowling, like I said.
So you want to give your team an opportunity to bowl at something, some cushion. What is a safe target here?
Like Jonathan said, if you can get above 160, I think you're going to be in good contention of winning the game. It means that 8 runs are over on this pitch. You bowl the right areas and you put the pressure. It's difficult to get. So we're going to try to give a good showing with the bat and put the runs on the board that we need to secure a win today.
Well, the first game. Good luck. All right. So the news from the middle is that Jonathan Rampasad of the Berbice Piranhas, they won the toss. They'll be having a bowl first.
Well, thank you very much, John Ramsing out in the middle there. And the news from there is that the Piranhas, through Jonathan Rampasad, their skipper, they have won the toss and they're going to have a field force. It means the Anacondas will have to set a target for the Piranhas. Just to recap what transpired yesterday, 2 matches. One started at 2, the other under floodlights. The Jaguars defeated Hawks by 4 wickets. And then the Pit Bulls, a convincing 93 runs victory over the Berbice Caimans. That was based on the Duckworth-Lewis turn calculation. It was a fine day yesterday, and the hope is it's going to be very competitive cricket once again in round number 2. And already, this ground always looks good. Nice, strong wind coming across this ground from the Atlantic Ocean. That's to the north and to the east as well. And 2 teams, they're having their first matches of this Guyana Cricket Board National T20 League. You look at the playing 11 there. That's from the Anacondas. Anthony Adams, he's the skipper. Ramsamy, Phillips, Harry, Chatura, Samson, Gibson, and very strong bunch coming from the Anacondas, and they're expected to give a good showing here, skipper by the experienced Anthony Adams, and for the Piranhas, Anthony Kemrach.
Well, Inderjeet, let me say thank you very much to you and to the team at FL Sport Berbice Piranhas, being led by Jonathan Rampasad. They have some pretty good names, Sokwa and company. I shall endeavor to go through that team for you in a bit. But a very interesting tournament. Rampasad here, Kelvin.
Yes, go ahead, Anthony.
Yes, we look at the Berbice Piranhas first. They won the toss. They will bowl first. Rampasad, Sukwa, Aryan Prasad, Ashraf Ali Budu, Javid Karim, Keon Sinclair, Navendra Lachman, Nigel Deodat, Romeo Deonarain. Young man, very impressive. Sion Glasgow and Suresh Danai. Pretty formidable team, Inderjeet.
Yes, both teams, a good mixture of youth and experience, and I'm sure these youngsters will ensure that they make a good use of the opportunities that they're having, playing in a national T20 league for the first time in Guyana. That in itself is great motivation.
Absolutely so. When you look at it, when I heard of the tournament coming on board, we must say kudos to His Excellency, the President of Guyana, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali and his entire team for coming on board and having this tournament be run. What it does, Inderjeet, very interestingly, it gives these players on the fringe an opportunity to represent their respective franchise and at the same time showcase their skills. So it's an absolutely amazing tournament when you look at it on paper. It's only the second round. It's only the third match. So we're hoping that, it will go from strength to strength. Let's see what will happen today. It promises to be another thrilling day.
Yes, so the 2 openers are already out in the middle. Kevon Bodie, he has been around for quite a long time, very experienced. And the short, stocky Ushardev Balgobin, who can hit the ball by nature. He's an aggressive player. And, we are expecting for a keenly contested battle out in the middle.
Yes, when you look at it, Kevon Bodie, very, very good player out of the Essecubo region. He has got loads of talent. I would love for him to come good here today, put up a score on the board and get things going. He's one of the players who would want to impress. And for you to impress, for you to hit the big leagues, you've got to score big. Let's see what will happen.
Yes, yesterday we saw the youngster Jonathan Yearwood scoring a fine half century, 72. And here we have in Keon Sinclair, he's starting the bowling. And a boundary of the first delivery there to Kevin Bodie, a short delivery and pulled around and getting the boundary. This tournament is powered by BetCageSports, and it's under the patronage of His Excellency the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. So good start here by Bodie.
Yes, it was a very short delivery. He was into his wicket very quickly, and we all know Kevin Bodie. He's going to go for his shots. But very good reply there outside the off stump. He needs to do that, Indrajit. Just honor about the off stump, forcing him to play there. But once you're short, and as I said just now, Kevin Bodie, he's not going to relax. He's a very pugnacious player. We know of his ability. Very interesting setup.
Yes, indeed. Well, yesterday in the first match, that's between the Essequibo Jaguars and the Demerara Hawks, we saw the Hawks batted first and scored 175, a competitive total. Oh, that's a good-looking shot. Down to the onside, and he's going to collect a single, Kevin Bodie. And the Jaguars chased that down. 4 wickets, a victory. They got to 176. I think the pitch played well, but in the second game, we saw some deliveries kept a little bit low, but there was good bounce once you put in the hard work. Bounce from the spinners, a bounce from the medium fast bowlers, and we saw, a pitch that wasn't really bad at all. I think it was a good pitch. How it stands up, we are going to see. Remember, first time cricket is being played on this pitch, relayed surface. 2 matches yesterday. This is only the third.
Yes, when you look at the LBI ground, I remember coming here many years ago, my first visit, and from then to now, there has been a very dramatic improvement to the ground itself. And we must give kudos to each and every one. The Guyana Cricket Board, they have worked really hard in getting this venue the way it is.
Well, he was flirting with danger there, Ushardev. Balgobin kept a trifle low, but it made some away movement outside the line of the off stump. And we are going to see many more deliveries like this once they touch down there. Not too much moisture in the pitch. Those little dark patches that you're seeing, there is some water, and that's because they sprinkled it late last night.
Yes, on any strip you play on, early moments, the early period, you will have some uneven bounce and carry and so forth. But you as the batter, you've got to adjust. Down the leg side, we'll get a single. In fact, yes, might have just brushed the trousers on his way to the keeper, who didn't pick it up cleanly. Adrian Soka, another young player out of Berbice too, and this is the really good thing about this competition, giving the youngsters, and as I said, the youngsters who are on the fringe, giving them a really great opportunity to come out and showcase their skills. We can't ask for anything better, Indrajit.
Yes, and especially with 3 under 19 players mandatory to be in every squad. That's a good delivery. Balgobin was neither back, he was neither really stretching forward there and playing the defensive shot. 1 over gone, it's 5 without loss.
Yes, I was talking about the composition of the team. And when you look at this Berbice Piranhas side, they've got some pretty good names. Being led by another influential young man in Jonathan Ramprasad, who has a pretty bright future ahead of him once he can stay focused. But I think both teams on paper, on all the teams, I think they're evenly balanced. I would not like to give a particular team the edge, and I think who plays the better cricket on the day might come out as trumps.
Typical Borbisian. He's silently he's rooting for the Berbice Piranhas here. But I think that Demerara Pit Bulls on paper, they look the strongest of the lot. And when you go through that team, the likes of Barnwell, their skipper, Jonathan Fu, Leon Swami, those are powerful hitters of the cricket ball, really suited for the T20 version of the game.
Well, just names on papers. Let's see what will happen. They'll have to make it a reality, isn't that so?
Well, they did last night. Comprehensive 93-run victory And that was over the Berbice Caimans, your team.
So we look at Jonathan Rampersad, who will continue.
Catch it! Yeah. Back up.
This is slapped away,
That it.
but can't pierce the offside field.
But you look at that delivery came, had some bounce on it too. We did mention looking at the pitch out in the middle, based on what transpired yesterday, the spinners, once they hit it down there, they're going to get some bounce and turn as well. Good start by Jonathan Rampersad.
Catch it! Yeah.
This is cut away. They're looking for a single, but it's sent back, and wisely so. Jonathan, he gets turned, and what he does is that he gives the ball a rip. He depends on more flight than pushing through his deliveries, and that's good for the young man. The pitch here looks dry, looks hard. I would figure that the batting team would want to score in excess of 150, but let's see. It's early days, yes.
Smart, John. Smart.
And here is a drive, up and away she goes, out towards the boundary. That's a fine shot by Kevin Bodie.
Don't feed it.
Well played, the timing was there. Just look at this on the replay. Yes, open up the front leg and driving through the extra cover region and away to the boundary for 4.
Meat and drink for Bodie, and I did say that. He's going to go after the bowlers. He's such a player, very aggressive, willing to take the attack once the ball is pitched up. And this is the period. This is the power play period. So he needs to step on the gas. He's doing that. Good batting.
Hey.
So this is a much better delivery. The flight was good, and then the ball was targeting that middle and off stump. So no width for Bodie to go over the top of extra cover, and you rightly called it in the power play.
Got it. Yep.
But the response has been very good from Jonathan, realizing that, look, if he pitches up, Bodie is going to go for the drive with only 2 fielders out of the 30-meter circle, the 30-yard circle. So he has the opportunity to go over the top, but Rampersad has come back nicely in this over.
Yes, so 4 dot balls, the lone boundary, and the final delivery coming up in over number 2. And he's cutting at 1, and he got it away down towards the backward point region and into the boundary for 4. So 8 runs knocked off the second over, 2 overs gone. It's a 13 without loss.
That was exquisitely played. He found the gap on the offside, and once the bowler is short, look, he was short there, he was on his back foot, pierced the offside field, found the gap there in the jeet. That's very important, even though he has the power, placement and timing there. You'd want to say a relatively good start. 2 overs have gone in this match. It seems a nice little period here for both teams.
Yes, early days, just 2 overs, 12 balls, and down there still 18 to go. They will consider it. That's a good start. I mean, you can score 13 off the first 2. That's not bad at all. And Kevin Bodie showed a lot of promise in his early years playing cricket. One thought he would have gone through. Never. The talent is still there.
So it's a man Sinclair again. And he's one of the young, really fast bowler, quick bowlers in Berbice, youngster. Very lanky as well. So he gets that bounce sometimes. Once the wicket is pretty helpful, he can hit it in a good area, and he can have that carry. Relatively good start from him as well.
As an Ushardev Balgobin, he's going to feel relieved. He's off the mark with 1. He's a short, but he's very, very muscular youngster. Ushardev Balgobin, we've seen over the years, quick fire starts. Do not go on to score big, but into the 20s and 30s, he'll be looking to get far more purchase in this innings.
This is slapped away. This will go into the boundary for 4. Lovely shot from Bodie again, and he's not. That's the thing with Bodie. Once it's pitched up, he's going to get into the drive, and he did so and got a very important boundary. He goes up to 17 in the jeet. He's on his way.
Yeah, that was a fine shot. Very aggressive. Once it inside of his corridor, he's going to go after this bowling. And that's how you make use of the fielding restriction in the first power play. What they will not like to do is to lose many wickets. But so far over number 3, it's been a good start by Kevin Bodie.
This is another good response on the line of the middle stump. But Bodie is so aggressive, they get a second run. This is excellent running as well. And you want to see that. And I'm always advocating for this. In T20 cricket, I love boundary hitting. But there's always space and there's plenty of room to get the ball in the square. Milk the bowling around, as you would say sometimes. Turn the strike over. It's always important. Isn't that so?
In any form of cricket, I agree with you. Important to turn the strike over. Too many dot balls in many matches we have seen over the years. That short onto the back foot. He's going to beat the backward point out towards the boundary. That's another fine shot. Always good to see. Stepping on the toes and cutting through backward point. Look at this.
You know, when he is in full flow and he's hitting the ball like this, you get the distinct feeling that Kevin Bodie is going to make 1,000 runs in a day. He looks as though he's going to never, he wouldn't get out. But suddenly he does something erratic and he gets out. But let's hope now from a cricketing standpoint that he's going to go. He's 23 from 12, so he's striking really good here. This is excellent batting.
Yes, and Keon Sinclair, propelled by the strong wind that's behind of him, striving for the extra piece here, like that. And here is Bodie pivoting on the back foot and turning it around. And he's going to collect another single. And sometimes you can be undone with nature. Yep. Strong wind blowing across. And you feel that I'm going to make use of this. He's going to give me the extra pace and bounce. And then you lose control.
Yes, so many fast bowlers over the years would tell you they get carried away sometimes. Sometimes you come on a surface and it's nipping, it's bouncing and all of that. And then you get carried away. You think that you can just run in and bowl as fast as you can. But the basics remain the same. The fundamentals of the game remain the same. Isn't that so?
Yes, always it will remain the same. And sometimes too, while the fundamentals remain the same, other things comes into the reckoning. You might change your game plan, make use of different conditions. Wow, beautifully bowled by Keon Sinclair here. The right arm medium fast bowler touching down just outside the line of the off stump there. And 3 of us gone, 25 without loss.
Yes, so we're here at the LBI ground, and of course a ground which is about maybe just about 20-25 minutes drive from the capital city of Georgetown. Absolutely lovely place to be, and the spectators have come out in their numbers, occupying basically the main pavilion there, and that's nice to see. We look at the bowling figures there in the Jeet. 2 overs for Sinclair, 17 runs. Rampersad has bowled 1 for 8 runs. So good start from Rampersad, but Sinclair hasn't done that well in his bowling. It's 25 for no wicket, 3 overs gone.
Well, if you look technically at the mathematics, Rampersad has been more expensive on the average. He's gone for 8 runs and Sinclair 2 from 17. So it's early stage yet, but I agree with you. It's a good start.
Yes, it's basically a platform now to tell the batters who may be coming in later on, look, we have laid some sort of a platform. It's only 3 overs, but if we can see through the power play overs and they don't lose a wicket here, they get up to maybe 60 odd. That's going to be a well accomplished 6 over period there, the power play period. They'll want to make every use of it though.
Come Aryan, come Aryan.
So Aryan Passad, another youngster in this team, he has been introduced into the attack, so he's having his first bowl. Let's see what he's going to do this afternoon.
Catch it. 1-1-1. Yeah. Take it. Well done. Well done.
They get a very quick single.
Well done. Well done.
Aryan is a bowler who pushes it very fast. He has this ability to slow it up a little bit. He has variety, like most left-arm spinners. So let's see what will happen here.
Yes, and he's known to be disciplined, but this is a different format of the game for Aryan Passad at a national level. It's T20 cricket. Sometimes you look at T20 and you feel it's real short, but here we're talking a possible 120 balls.
Yes, and the thing is that you mentioned it's short. It is short. We're looking at 20 overs. Sometimes in the blink of an eye, maybe things happen and happen so fast. So you must think very fast on your feet. We've heard so many captains talk about that. So the error for margin there is very, very slim.
That's a good delivery. No width, no room whatsoever, right onto the pads. And now Balgobin just essaying a shot that he felt he should have played to it, but that's gone.
We know all the great stories of Balgobin over the years. He would do that time and again.
A mischievous figure, Balgobin.
1-1-1.
And here's a drive. Certainly we'll get a single here. In fact, it's going to get much more than that. Boy, the timing was great. Driven through the wide mid-off region. And look at that, stepped into it. He's a strong youngster. Misfielding. That's the reason why it ran away to the boundary for 4.
You would want your fielders to support you in the field, don't you, as the captain? On that occasion, it was struck to the fielder there. He didn't actually cover it. Probably might have had a very poor bounce, maybe. But it picked up a boundary. That's very important. The score will go up to 4. So, it doesn't count as a misfield. It's 4. This is brilliant batting. 3.3 overs, 30 runs on the board.
And this time we saw good fielding down at backward point. The basics in fielding, many fielders will ensure that some part of the body is behind the ball, just in case if it slips through the fingers, you have something there to cover for it.
This is edged away. And that completes what? The first over. In fact, it's 5 deliveries gone. But he has come back really well in this over. Aryan Prasad.
Yes, 3 dot balls, a single and a 4, so just 5 runs off it. He will be hoping to end the over with a dot ball.
Yeah.
And he's going to take that, just a single to end the over. 4 overs gone. It's 31 without loss.
Look, the captain, Jonathan, will take this any day. You've won the toss. You've decided to bowl. It's brilliant sunshine. Heavy breeze coming in, heavy wind coming in. And you have your opponents 31 for no wicket at the end of 4 overs. You would say, look, it's a situation that we can work with. It's not brilliant. We haven't picked up a wicket. But still yet we have them 31 for no wicket. They haven't really got away with the score.
Yes, it's kind of even Stevens here. Maybe you'll give a little bit edge here to the batting team, and that's the Anacondas, because they haven't lost a wicket. They're scoring roughly at 8 runs and over, and haven't lost a wicket. 4 overs gone. You will consider that a very good start.
Yes, you would, and I did say it. They consider themselves to be. We have the platform, foundation basically has been set. We haven't finished the power play. 2 overs to go. You never know, they can get 40. The Piranhas can pick up 2 wickets. It's a funny game.
Yes, and with the fall of wickets, it can change the course of the game. You have to replan, regroup, and good thing for them, they haven't lost a wicket as yet. Suresh Danai has been introduced into the attack. He's an experienced T20 player, plies his straight across Guyana.
Yes, interesting figures there. His best being 4 for 11. He's another player out of Berbice who has lots of potential. Comes from the Kanji area, the area that produced the likes of Shimon Hetmai and company. You remember Damodar Dasra, the former first-class captain of Guyana, also from that area. A few players have come from that area. Isaiah Thorne as well, from that area. So the Kanji area has produced some notable sportsmen of later in recent years.
Yes, and one match at least will be taken to the Rose Hall Kanji ground. That's next weekend. And another game will be played at the number 69 Vikings ground. So Berbice, you're getting some T20 cricket there in our national T20 league matches.
Excellent news for Berbice and for Guyanese for the cricket to be spread, isn't that so? This is hit inside out, but it will get a single. Kevon Budi. They contemplate a second, but they will go back, wisely so too. Budi has gone up to 25 from 14 deliveries, and he's one player who is going to go after the bowling. He's not going to just sit back and just await the bowlers to get on top of him. He's gonna be ultra aggressive. Balgobin, meanwhile, has been on the slow side. 7 from 11, but the occupation of the crease is very important. And he doesn't need to do anything silly. He's got a compliment body.
That's a good delivery. And he has just curtailed his pace here. Just looking for more control and taking the pace off the ball. While occupation of the crease is important in the shorter format of the game, you must be able to get the ball away to score runs. It doesn't have to be 6s and 4 every delivery. Look for the singles. Play with soft hands.
This is slapped away. We'll get what? Another single into the offside. And you talk about bowlers. There's so much of variety you can use as a medium pace bowler or a fast bowler. The slower bouncer, the Yorker, the one that is full pitch. So there's lots of variety that you can go to as a bowler, and it's good to see that Danai has started well. Just 4 runs from 3 deliveries. That's good.
Yes, normally Danai is more aggressive. He runs in very hard, has some good bouncers. He hasn't tried any so far.
Yeah, and he's one of those disciplined players out of Berbice as well. I'm not saying the others are not disciplined, but he's a very well-cultured young man, and he knows a thing or two. Wide down the leg side. No doubt this is going to be signaled yes it does by umpire Nagasar. You don't want to stray in the jeet, do you, in a T20 game?
Well, straying in any walks of life is not a good thing. More so the game of T20 there. What Danai was trying to do there was to get the Yorker in. He did not, went down the leg side and penalized.
This is tucked away on the onside. And we'll get what? At least a single. In fact, it has gone to the boundary for 4. So he continues on his merry way here, Kevin Bodie. Pitch stop into the drive very early. Picks up another boundary. He's racing away. 39 they've gone up to for no wicket.
And he's playing a fine hand here, Kevin Bodie. His boundary hitting has been good. So he has gotten a good start. The question is, how long will Bodie stay there? And that is of vital importance for his team, the Essequibo Anacondas.
Yes, he's a very important cog in the wheel of the Anacondas, no doubt about it. They depend on him. They want him to stay there for a pretty long time. They know his batting exploits. So once he can stay there, then good things will happen for his team.
Well, that's a shortish delivery. I think it was a little bit too high, and in the eyes of umpire Nagasar, that's not out. So 5 overs gone. It's 39 without loss.
Yes, pretty interesting score. 39 for no wicket. Bodie 30 and Balgobin 8. More from you in the jeet, and then it's going to be John Ramsing.
Kevin Bodie 6-4 so far of 17 deliveries for his 30. Oshardev Balgobin 13, he's gotten 8, just 1 boundary so far. And Bodie's strike rate is a revelation, 176.47. You look at the batting to come. Anthony Adams, the skipper, Ramsamy, Quinton Sampson, the rocket. He's out there as well. Keno Henry, he strikes the ball very, very hard. So still some very good batting to come. 39 without loss, 5 overs gone. Jono Ramsing, this has been an excellent start by the Anacondas.
Good afternoon, Indrajit. Hello, everyone. Aryan Prasad. Look at that. I love the way he goes about his business. Young Aryan, 20 years of age, plays for the Georgetown Cricket Club. Been around the youth setup for a long time in the Jeet. One of those, I heard Anthony mention this earlier, fringe players. But because of the likes of Pamal, Gurikesh Moti, now Ashpedner, Anthony Adams, this youngster's being overlooked. But certainly getting an opportunity now to continue to remind everyone about his quality. What a good start from Bodhi and Balgobin.
Catch it! One. Well on. Lovely.
Today the pitch playing a little bit different than yesterday. You can see it's holding its own. That little moisture that was given this morning, that wetting that they got this morning, holding it together nicely.
Yeah, so far, so good. And the scorecard can tell the story of that. Nothing really to worry the batters out in the middle. They've played their natural game. Bodhi, of course, we know can hit the boundaries. He has done that. And we're in 6 and it's 40 already without loss.
Yeah.
Final over of the power play, so no doubt Kevin Bodhi looking to take on the young man. But Passard saw him coming and just darted it into his pad. So he's sticking to his guns, young Arian Passard. But Bodhi looking to hitting out of the attack. And also because of the final over of the power play, want to maximize the use of the next few deliveries in this over.
Yes, and Balgobin too, what is it he's thinking deep inside of him, realizing there are just 3 deliveries remaining in the power play? Will he be looking for big blows here?
Just a boundary to him so far. But young Ushadeva Balgobin now bowled. Look at that. Arian Passar getting his ball to come back in. Just as Balgobin looking to, like you said, hit the accelerator. Playing, missing, ball kept slightly low and into the stumps. First wicket going down. It's Anacondas now in the final over of the power play, 41 for 1.
Yes, and he fell away there, lost his balance, Ushardev Balgobin. Just look at this. And, the reason why that left leg wasn't moving across, that went down into the pitch, I thought he played outside the line of that delivery and he paid the penalty, the youngster. They've lost their first wicket in over number 6. And I think the Piranhas are going to feel relieved that they've at least taken 1 wicket in the power play so far.
Sometimes when teams bat the power play without losing a wicket, and has a decent scoring rate as well at 7.24. You said that they're certainly winning the power play, but that wicket now in the final over of the power play, courtesy of Arian Passard, just been speaking glowingly about him. And now we can see bringing it back a little bit even, because 7+ and over on this venue, it's not necessarily a runaway score. So the Esquimalt Anacondas will be happy just to lose 1 wicket. But the Piranhas, knowing that they're not far away, the Anacondas. Shiloh Adams, the new batter for the Esquimalt Anacondas. Both sides having it their way at the toss. The Piranhas wanted to bowl first. Anacondas wanted to bat first. They want to make this Blackwater contest pretty murky.
Yes, and sometimes, John, it can be psychological. You never really get the truth from them when they're interviewed out in the middle. And saying, Guy, you have made the right decision. We wanted to bat, so thank you very much. Deep inside, they wanted to bowl. So these are all things that happen. Shiloh Adams here. He's a youngster, one of the under-19 players in this Anaconda setup.
The windy conditions here in the Jit reminds me of many years ago in Guyana, growing up on the coastland. Pretty windy, and despite scorching sunshine, you still feel that cooling effect with the high breeze. Adams immediately off the mark. Nice fluent stroke down to extra cover, and a bit of poor feeling. Held onto the ball for too long to feel that extra cover right back on the boundary and allow the extra run to be taken. Slight fumble, but then look at that. Just keeping the ball slightly too long.
Yes, you want to dispatch that ball as quickly as possible. If you don't, good runners between the wicket will capitalize, like these two, Bodhi and Shiloh Adams. Yes, John, very strong win. And this is very refreshing for us. In the come box, we're having the doors open, we're having the windows open, so that freshness coming into the box, we're enjoying it. For the guys out in the middle while the wind is blowing, they are low down, so they're going to be feeling the heat.
End of the power play. 44 for the loss of 1. Arian getting a wicket. Arian Passar got a wicket with his second over, the final of the power play.
Yes, and John, you spoke as a youngster growing up on the east coast of Demerara at LBI. Just run through the score.
4 bowlers used so far. The seam of Sinclair and Danai, 3 overs. Rampasad and Aryan Pasad, 3 overs as well. But the spinners picking up the wickets, and of course, slightly better on economical side as well. Just 2 extras leaked.
Yes, and as a youngster growing up here, especially in the LBI area, played a lot of cricket. I think you played a lot of salt as well. You enjoyed that game? You remember that game? Pitch marbles too?
Oh yes, boyhood days. Who can ever forget those days in the Jeet? Yeah, and quite interesting. Some of the guys that are still living at LBI are in the grandstand, and lots of memories. Had a little chat with them earlier. Lots of memories started to come back as they started conversations about, do you remember when? Do you remember this person? What about that? You know, but because of development, I told them the area does not look the same as it was 20 years ago at least.
Yes, amazing development here at LBI. Wonderful community. And it's always nice to come down here. And you mentioned boyhood days. How can we forget that great soul, Dave Martins? Time cannot erase boyhood days. He sang reality. May his soul continue to gain bliss. And, you know, our condolence once again to his beautiful wife, Annette Arjun, and his immediate family. What a loss.
Adams playing on the wrong line consecutively. Captain Rampasad starts a new over. He can also.
What was the most favorite, your favorite of Dave Martin's tune?
Pom 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 pom. We are the champions. That really did it for me because of passion for cricket as well in the young days. And after every West Indian victory, listening to the radio station, you hear that song right after. But suddenly the song disappeared. When the victories also disappeared. Quick single.
Yes, and I think that the song disappeared from the airways because victory won and far. We are no longer ruling the roost whatsoever. Naim told me his favorite Dave Martin tune is Honeymooning Couple.
And yours?
Yes, Boyhood Days. I love that one. I love the cricket song as well. Hit the ball, donkey, hit the ball. Those are all fantastic tunes, but I love Boyhood Days. Those are things that happen. You ever felt like the back of your head drop off, John?
The reality of those words from the legend himself.
So we're in over number 7 here. A little bit of strategy being worked out there where the fielders are going to be put. Sokawa is part of that strategy. The wicketkeeper, Bodhi's on 30. Just going into a little bit of a shell. Just need to regroup, realizing a single can be scored too.
Got under that one. Helping it around. And with this breeze in the Jeet, it will do the rest. 6 more to Kevon Bodhi. Just as you said, getting into a shell. But 50 now coming up in over number 7. And because of this power play being ended, this power play ending now, the field is a bit more relaxed. So they're trying to get the deep fielders in the perfect position because Rampasad is bowling that off break of his and bowling with this wind behind him. It means that once the ball goes into the onside, it will travel.
Yes, it was too short and he paid the full price for it.
This time overcompensating. Chases on, really cut it off. Diving effort. Pretty close. Umpire Nagasar would like to perhaps ask the fielder himself. But I think he did pretty well. Fielder on the long off boundary. Had to take a diving effort. Did well, yes. You can see the rope behind him. Diving is a big part of the modern game. Saving a certain boundary. But 2 more to Bodhi. Just as you mentioned, going into a little shell. 8 runs from him in just 2 deliveries. So now that the 50 is on the board now for the Esquibo Anacondas, they really want to open up their scoring opportunities now. And that is something I love about the game as well. Helping the batters. This case, that's someone against you. And if he's really against you, he will tie your laces together rather than fixing it for you. But it's a gentleman's game we're playing.
Absolutely so. And in the heat of battle, these things do happen.
That wind again. Getting a little bit of purchase, yes, but the wind assisting as well. And anything marginally outside the length of the leg stump, the laws and the rules will say that it will be a wide. Considered negative bowling. Oh, almost popped it back. 7 gone, 54 for 1.
So we shall look at this one again. Slower delivery. Yes, maybe a diving Jonathan Rampasar there could have brought on the catch. But he just waited a little bit.
Yeah. Some bowlers do that. Stop upon delivery, especially the slower bowlers. Don't have a real follow through. Like the seamers. Even some spinners sometimes will have an exaggerated follow through. Shane Warne, one of those.
Come here, boy.
Kevin Bodie, the highlight of the innings so far. 38 to Shudeva Balgabin. Did not get going today, just 9. 54 for 1 after 7. Aryan Prasad. 2 overs. Should be given a third at least. And quite importantly, 2 of those overs were in the power play. 4th and 6th. So this is over number 8 now. So a lot of responsibilities and a lot of trust being put in this young man. The ball in the power play. And he's delivered the goods immediately.
Definitely, he has 1 for 10 so far. And beaten comprehensively outside the line of the off stump there. That was beautifully bowled. Tossing up nicely, drawing the left-hander Adams into playing the shot, looking for a single through the covers. And then the ball just held its own from the left-hander. He has strong shoulders here, Aryan Prasad. And gives it a nice little tweak too.
Hey! Ball.
And John, it calls for discipline here. If he can maintain this line and length, what he's going to do is to force Adams to come down the track. Try something different.
Adams searching for an innings for himself. Both sides playing their first game today in this tournament. Good control from Aryan Prasad, varying his pace as well. He's bowling into the strong wind. So his pace, you get a little bit of drift. And the ball comes out of his hand before landing. Then you'll get a little bit of deviation. So everything the batters will have to look at and consider, especially in windy conditions.
Yes, so good battle going on out in the middle there.
Yes.
There's a big swing. And nicely picked up into the onside there. Can't get past the fielder. The ground had a visit earlier this day by the Honorable Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Minister Vindia. She was down here, had a nice little discussion. She was talking about the cricket. She loves cricket. And she was all here to ensure that they have their plan executed, preparing this ground, starting tonight, after the final ball is bowled in the game tonight, for their grand motorcade. They'll be converging here at LBI for judging of those motorcades, grand cultural presentation, Diwali, the Festival of Lights, a national holiday in Guyana. Beautiful festival, isn't it, John?
One of my favorites in the Jeet, especially because it's 7 curry and meats time, well, the sweets. Swept away runs here now for the Anacondas, 4 of them. Cannot pull it up. 4 runs to end the over. A leg by before that. So 5 runs in over number 8. Taking the score now on to 59 at the end of 8.
And LBI blessed with mosque and, temples and churches, buildings surrounding this place here. It tells about their belief in the Almighty. Look at those rice towers there. We saw a little bit of a dip in the last over, in the middle overs, and a few good ones too.
Consistency from the Escribo Anacondas. Yeah, LBI. So last night after the last game here, match number 2, I was making my way out of the ground. Saw some of the locals who were in the ground, the mechanics and the carpenters, the tradesmen that are building Guyana in the JIT. Rampersad starts his third over. Looking to take him on immediately, Adams. Adams now realizing that he needs to accelerate. He wants to give some assistance to Kevon Bodie. It's all Bodie so far for the Anacondas. Yeah, but it's good to see the architects of not only LBI but our entire country. Those guys, because of everything that's happening, they're pretty busy. So good to see them coming out with their families last night. And I'm sure a bit later on today, it's a family day, Sunday. Every Sunday, when I remember in LBI, we'll be cricket in the streets, and after that, some chat, some liquid motivation, lots of old talk. So, yes, we can expect more of that. And LBI is pretty much a small family. I remember during the census, early 2000s, in the area that I was living, counted just over 3,000 persons. You know, it's just pretty close-knitted, you know, despite well-populated in terms of buildings. 3,000 persons, not too bad.
Well, he didn't pick it up. If he had picked it up with one underarm throw and hit the stumps, there would have been some trouble for Shiloh Adams there. But in the end, they got the single. And I agree with you, John. That's how communities should live. You see everyone as your brother's keeper, because you know your neighbor is always going to be an asset to you, other than a brother or sister that lives maybe in a foreign country or in a different community. Slicing off the edge of the bat, running away. Will it get to the boundary for 4? Well, he grabbed and grabs and hustle. Has he saved it? That's Romeo. Did a good job on the boundary line. No, in fact, it actually went away for 4. But give him 100% there for the effort.
Yeah. And he actually rose with the ball and said to the umpire 4 runs. That's when it actually crossed the boundary rope there. And the Ryan actually signaled to umpire Nagasar that 4 runs because the ball went across the ropes. So good sportsmanship from young Romeo. Dean Ryan, one of the under-19 players, one of the developmental players for the Piranhas. Good to see him as well on the park.
Yeah, and his dad is in the house as well, Mr. Ricky Demerara. Oh, that was well played, John Ram, saying nice little paddle shot. But it's going to be saved on the boundary. Did he touch the ball while he was trying to escape the ropes? Very difficult to tell from here. A return that came in. Good running, good shot, nice paddle sweep.
Yeah. Controlled, not trying to hit it too hard at all. Kevon Bodie. Bodie now moves up to 49. But look at the pitch in the JIT. Look at where the batters are, the batters crease. Crumbling. Totally dusty. Pretty well played. Nicely composed half century from Kevon Bodie, man from Tushan. 50 from 28 deliveries, taking his team now on to 69 for 1 at the end of 9. Well played, Kevon Bodie.
Absolutely splendid innings. Took the responsibility of opening the batting, and it's good to see Bodie back in form. He's a good-looking player. Once he gets out in the middle there and started to stroke the ball, and it's good to see him looking up to the heavens as he celebrated. There is where his motivation comes from, and raising the bat as well to his colleagues.
8 fours and 1 6 in that innings. Still to come, Captain Anthony Adams, Quentin Sampson, Keanu Harry, Sigar Hitaramani. Good to see Hitaramani in the team today. 4 extras, but it's all Kevon Bodie. And 1 batter dismissed. Ushradeva Balgabin for 9. But look at that, quite interesting. Just 9 boundaries and 1 6. So not able to get a lot of boundaries, but at a healthy scoring rate of just under 8 runs, it means that they're pretty busy between the sticks.
Yes, so at 69 for 1, Nigel Deurat has been brought into the attack and greeted first delivery. That spanked away as it cleared. Just have to wait and see. Might very well have gone over the ropes there. That's a maximum. That's a great shot by Kevin Bodie. And what a way to celebrate his 50.
Yeah, grand style indeed. Half volley on the line of his off stump. And he just went downtown. And with this breeze, it will do the rest. It's like you're paying $100 to get to town, but you only have 60. And they say you take the other 40.
And that is exactly what happens there. Nigel Deurat, a youngster from the Blairmont Blazers Cricket Club. And I know that his mentor, Shabir Baksh, who plays a tremendous role in cricket in that region of Guyana, is extremely happy that his boy is in the side. But this is smashed for 4 by Bodie, tossing it up too much there. And Bodie, eyes well set and eye-hand body coordination moving beautifully. He's not going to miss out on that. Another boundary.
Yeah, Kevin Bodie now getting into a next gear, as if he was not already scoring rapidly. He's upping the tempo even more. Consecutive boundaries now, first a 6, now a 4. So young Nigel Deurat, West Coast Burbies left arm spinner, under early pressure. He also plays on the east coast of Demerara, Nigel Deurat, for Lusignan Sports Club, where we will be when the next games begin. Not tonight, but next few days from now.
Yeah, that's on Tuesday. One game at the Lusignan Community Center, the Pit Bulls against the Anacondas. That game started 14 hours.
Was bowling too close and being dispatched. Now overcompensating, pushing it further wide. Certainly under some pressure. Young Deurat. Plays for the Bushlaw Sports Club as well, so he's been around local cricket. Was impressed with him when he got his nod at the senior and the county level. I think it was at a 4-day level last season.
And he's one of the boys, John, that has his parents and his siblings fully behind of him. Whenever I go to Blairmont and Nigel Deurat is playing there, the entire family will be there to support him. And that's good to see. Family support, so essential for development.
In the air, this can be revenge for Deurat. And it's taken by Sukkot quite athletically. I was about to say easily, but it's not easy with him running from the way he's left from behind the stumps. Having to take that at maybe a short extra cover. Top heads from Shiloh Adams found. And look at Sukkot going. Good run and catch. In the end, pouched it nicely. Wicket number 2, Deurat getting some revenge. It's 81 for 2 in the 10th.
Yes, and that was good judgment by Sukwa. I guess he would have said, leave it alone. I am the glovesman. Let me go after it. And the ball was falling away from him. But his judgment of the ball coming down, beautiful indeed.
So Adams goes for 6 from 12 deliveries. 81 for 2. The players will have some refreshments as a new batter makes his way into the middle. Segari Taramani will also take a refreshments break and come back with the melodious voice of our brother Naim Chan.
Lam. Yeah. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Thank you, boy. I will think same multiple times, just a new day. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, Nigel, keep going, Nigel. We gotta look, we gotta look, we gotta look. Thank you.
So do you that to continue? Still in over number 10.
Now you ball them, man. Now you
Fall
ball
of
them.
Shiloh Adams' wicket. The
Now you
players
ball them,
taking
man.
refreshments. Usually happens at the halfway stage at the end of 10 overs. We've seen now in the modern game as soon as a wicket or something happens in the 10th, the players up for some refreshments. No matter, Segar hit a man, he's off the mark. It's the second delivery. And it is the end of the 10th officially. 82 now for the loss of 2. Hitaramani, fresh off a match-winning T20 100 on the east bank of Demerara, batting at a crucial number 4 position for the SQ Anacondas. For the first time this afternoon, Naim Chan.
Hi, John. Yeah, good afternoon to all our viewers right across the globe, whether you're in Guyana or out. Nice start here by the Anacondas. Kevin Bodie leading the way, 63 from 31. Ushadeva Balgobin, normally, as usual, a brisk start. Didn't get that going for a long time, 15 balls. But they've mustered 82. Quite a good score. Nice little sprinkling of spectators there, assembling in pockets. Now, what these guys do is that they move as groups. Last night, stretching across the perimeter on the grass there, perimeter of the boundary, you had different groups assembling and just having fun, taking a drink. I saw some of them eating. I saw some of the ladies as well. So nice atmosphere. And I know that we're going to have a great day of cricket. There's a second game coming up at 7 o'clock. Maybe you'd like that one on the floodlights where the atmosphere, it's bright and then absolutely cool.
Where light take over darkness. Pretty much the season we're in, Diwali. Yeah, those 4 gentlemen we saw on your monitor moments ago, they're from just across the road, on the public road, northern side of LBI. Don't want to tell you exactly which street. But there are some of the locals that are always at cricket whenever cricket is on at LBI. It used to be softball, tape ball, hard ball. They're always there to support. It's good to see cricket coming back. They're back here as well. Over number 11.
That one keeping trifle low, if you notice. We saw this in the games yesterday. Just a couple of them will come down very low. We saw some of that happening from the spinners. And then you've got some that popped. Even the spinners I saw got some to pop when they landed on the seam of the ball. Just look at the flannels of the bowler. You can imagine the high velocity of the winds coming into the ground.
Oh, chasing a wide one there. Segar, I remember you having a little fun time with the name Segar Hitaramani, the last T10 tournament. It's good stuff, good control stuff. His first over is the 11th, so the ball is not as new as it was, of course, 10 overs ago, but not trying to blast the batters out by any means. Bowling with him himself, Navindra Latchman, but bowling with the wind as well and showing good control.
I was very pleased when I looked at Dwayne Dick also, who has on more than one occasion opens the bowling and bowls it with the new ball, actually, spin. And he has this way, or ability, may I say, of controlling things when he takes the ball. That was a good sight.
Shahid Vera giving some assistance to Kevin Bodie on field, and umpire Imran Mokan observing. Sometimes you don't want anything to damage the ball. You don't want to give up side an advantage nor a disadvantage. So umpire having a pretty close look. That's very good. Since yesterday I was noticing the ethics of umpire Imran Mokan. Spot on.
He's an interesting fella to listen to. Last evening I was listening to him talking on what possibly can happen after the game was shut down due to the lighting system, which was eventually resolved, of course.
Playing across the line and getting some runs now, Kevin Bodie. 4 of them. Could have been a dangerous stroke to a ball that was straight. Look at that, just playing across the line, but he got connection. That saved him a whole lot. And the fielder at the short fine leg position, diving effort, realizing the ball was going away from him, and he tried his best.
Bodie has played a very controlled innings. I don't think I saw an injudicious shot. He has been absolutely aggressive in the score in his innings. In fact, in that 50 he had 8 fours and 1 6. Struck on the pad. This is an appeal of conviction. But the umpire is unmoved. But I thought for a moment that he was trapped because he came back into his wicket. But then again, it could have been just leaking down the leg side. There you go.
Height as well. Last one is coming from pretty high as a tall bowler. And this pitch is not one of those that will have balls rolling on your ankles. So there's a little bit of bounce. That one might have been doing just too much to convince umpire at the northern end.
Nice controlled shot there. And they've been easing it in between gaps and getting the 1s and the 2s. So I think this has been a good display of batting. Over number 11, 88 for the loss, 89 now for 2. So I think good control stuff from the batting side. I think they're well poised.
Right after Diwali, Naim, you'll have Christmas. The Christmas trees are here. Natural ones in LBI. Sinclair started with Rampasad. Wicketless, and Aryan Pasad came, got the breakthrough. Then I just won over. Naja Durat was expensive, but picked up a very important wicket. And now Latchman. So 6 bowlers used by the Piranhas, picking up 2 wickets after they lost the toss. After they won the toss, in fact, and opted to bowl. Nice windy conditions. When we got to the ground pretty early this morning, the northern side screen was twisted because of the high breeze. When that was fixed and placed firmly, the southern one went. So that high wind we had here today. Do that to continue. Starts with a wide.
And just coming back to that side screen, you don't want any strong breeze this afternoon because you have some cameras I see erected there.
Oh yeah. And the insurance for those, not very easy these days. Yet to bring up their 100. Scoring just over 8 runs and over now. Kevin Bodie, that will be dependent on him. But Sega hits Romani, like I said, fresh off 100 in a final on the East Bank of Demerara for her stelling A against Eccles, taking his side on to victory. Former under 19, former national youth player, Sega hits Romani.
Smart boy, smart.
I was struggling to come to terms that Hitaromani could be actually a born-bred Guyanese.
Open!
Bounce and turn. Good stuff from the Urat.
That is it.
Can see
Like how you pull it
a
back.
little more of confidence now from the left arm spinner.
Like how you pull it up.
Yeah, that name can confuse you. You're thinking Sri Lankan, you're
Keep
thinking
going.
India, you're thinking Bangladesh.
Well, it's good to see this high wind or feel this high wind because in these scorching conditions, you need that.
Stop it.
It's like a breath of fresh air, and so you need that breeze, especially for the players who are struggling to control themselves on the such scorching conditions.
Yeah.
Looking to force it Just got it inside of the bat, inside of the middle, so it came down on the onside. I think more or less, I think he was trying to drive that back past the bowler.
Yeah. Look at hit it too hard. Did not get the timing right. Importantly, got a single. Still trying to be very positive, Kevin Bodie.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. Controlled batting, getting it into the gaps. Very important. They had a good start. Still, they're at a very good run rate because you can accelerate on that. Just keep topping it up. So not to be exuberant and have an eruption of wild stroke play and give your wickets away. So they're nearing the 100.
Over pitching, but not paying the full price. So just a single to end the over. At the end of 12, the Anacondas, 96 for a loss of 2, having been sent in by the Piranhas. Nice high tower lights here at LBI. Will be flicked on later on. Let's look at the 4s and 6s race so far. Early days yet, but Shamar Yearwood leading both columns. Raymond Perez some distance behind him on the 4s chart, but Raji 500, 3 6s closing in on Shamar Yearwood. But early days yet, just 2 matches completed. This is the final of the first round of matches, 5 rounds in all. Then we head to the semi-finals, grand final. And on the day of the final, not only third place playoff, but a female exhibition game. I love to see the ladies in action, Naim.
For varying reasons, I guess. Good knock here.
Yeah, ladies put on a really good show.
Ladies are the flowers of the world, so whatever they do, you see elegance and beauty. And we've got that kind of girls in our country. We're blessed.
What a grab there with one hand on his follow through. The Vindra Latchman, the tall, big frame of him. And it's a cotton ball. Kevin Bodie will have to go. Look at that Naim on the replay. Half volley, driving on the up, back to the bowler. And he stuck his right hand out. And it stuck. Nice catch in the end. Good way to get the breakthrough. Bodie will be disappointed, but it took a good catch to get rid of him. 96 for 3 at the start of the 13th.
But effectively, what he has done is built a platform, and I'm glad to see that. Very good knock, controlled batting. He was aggressive, partially in spurts of aggression during the course of that knock of 70. Very, very good knock, Kevin Bodie. 39 deliveries. So he's had, 2 6s and just about 9 4s, so excellent knock. Well, just last night we saw Ricardo Adams. This is Anthony Adams now. Another one of the sensible cricketers coming out of Essequibo. I like his style. I like his composure and the way he goes about his game. Always seemed to be in control of what he's doing.
Not related, but you can say all part of the Adams family. Anthony Adams, the captain of the Anacondas, making his way now into the middle. 96 for 3. Good time, perhaps you would see Quinton Sampson making his way into the middle. But Anthony Adams, Anacondas captain, and the rest of the think tank for the Anacondas, maybe not ready to expose the big hitting Sampson.
I want to believe that they think that the overs are pretty young, and he might just come out, have an explosion of stroke play, and get himself out. They can use the middle here to further the score. Just keep topping up on it, and leave the later end for explosive batting.
Off the mark immediately. We can see a little bit extra bounce now from Latchman on the line of the off stump. And steered away nicely for a single. 7 deliveries faced by Hitramani so far. Relatively fresh at the crease. So this is an opening, you would say, for the Piranhas. They can pick up another 2 before the start of the 15th. They can be in with a shout. Likewise, if the Anacondas can bat to the 15th without any further loss, it means they have an opportunity for a big launch at the back end.
And they've got the artillery at the back end. Oh, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. Just ease it around the place. Keep the scoreboard going. You've got people like Samson to come out at the back end, as John said, to do what he has to do. So just keep climbing. You can wait until 18 overs to have Samson in. By then you should get to 140, 150 if things goes well. Things go well, correction.
Losing his bats in the process, Hitaramani. Anthony Adams always looking for the extra run. Quite alert cricketer he is. Good leader. Was looking for the extra run, but was not to be. Nice spell so far from the Vindra Latchman.
And he's pretty lanky, isn't he? Down the leg side. And it's a scarce thing on the international stage. And I think that landscape has practically changed. But it was always a strange sight to see an Indian fast bowler that's tall. Now you have the Bumrahs. The only one was Kapil Dev. You hardly had Indian fast bowlers apart from Kapil Dev. He was their tearaway fast bowlers back in the 1980s. Now you have a barrage of different talents coming out of India.
Slower delivery, the off cutter, but not directed where he wanted it. I will have to reload that one.
And Hatiramani, I kind of like that name, and I'll tell you why. When I worked at the radio, John, back in the 1980s, and we had to read the sports news, it was always a difficult period. Uppishly, but he'll pick up quite possibly 2 run. They should have run the first one faster, but they get it eventually. There's an ambitious appeal there from the players for a run out, not out. But then Sri Lanka came onto the scene. That's the end of 13, by the way, 103 for a loss of 3. Then Sri Lanka came onto the scene with the Jayasuryas and so on. And in reading the sports news, it became absolutely difficult because we hardly had access. We had access to the BBC, so you'd listen to what they say and then or how they pronounce names. But the audio was pretty low in those days in the 1980s, so we were left in no man's land. And then came Hashan Tilakaratna, and then came all these tennis players in Slobodan Zevayunovic. Those names actually are stuck in my brain since the 1980s. So when I see Hatiramani, I remember those days.
Some of these houses we're seeing built perhaps in the 1980s, and it's still around. Some things you just don't forget, Naim. Yeah, remember the days as well. Romesh Kaluvitarana, that was a favorite of mine. Danai starts a new over. This is his second. Bowled one up in the power play. Now he's back for the back end. Over number 14. Starts with a single. It's 103, 104 now. Suresh Danai, one of the bowlers that you expect to do a lot of bowling in the power play. That's where he's most effective, picking up wickets with a new ball. Just one over in the power play. They have a plan for him at the back end.
Suffice to say that I've looked at him over the past year. He's a very intelligent bowler as well. Not impressive there, Anthony Adams. Fishing expedition outside the off stump. I think he was probably looking for the one coming back into the right-handed batsman. It went through, straight.
Nice straight approach from Danai. Chance for a run out. Both batters in the same crease. Will the run out be taken? No! Look at that. Some distance away from the stump. He had to get a direct hit. But I think with hindsight, you're thinking I should have gotten up and walked to the stump.
But it's hard to believe that Danai would miss at such a short distance, actually. Should have run to the stumps and then probably on the arm. But there's a lot of tension, I guess, at the spur of the moment.
Yeah, it was a comedy of error at the start of the stroke. Singles coming now because the field is spread wide and deep. Danai bowling to a plan. Not leaking any boundaries. That is important for the Piranhas. Anacondas searching for boundaries. They want to get at least 170 at the toss. I said 150 plus will be competitive. Flat batting it, but it's protection at long on. Will 150 be comforting, or will 170 be pushing it a little too much?
Well, I think from the batting side's perspective, they should never be happy with 150. We have seen that over the past two games. Things have tightened up for the batting side. There's no doubt about it, and you can see spurts of frustration from the body language, especially of Anthony. Anthony Adams has not been able to get it away. He's been struggling. End of 14, 108 for 3. But I think, John, I was talking about the frustration stepping in or creeping into the body language of the batting side. But they were doing exactly what was required. They had a nice platform. All you need to do is keep changing, turning over this strike as much as possible, squeezing runs out of the bowling.
6 teams in the tournament, 4 already completing their matches. So the points table now. So the Pit Bulls and the Jaguars registering early wins. So 2 teams on the plus side, 2 on the negative side, and 2 starting today. 6 teams in the tournament. National T20 League, courtesy of the Guyana Cricket Board and BetCageSports. Latchman for his 3rd. No one backing up. This time they'll get not only the first easily, but the overthrow quite comfortably as well. You can hear no from not only the bowler, but the wicket keeper as well, realizing that neither of them are up to the crease, up to the stumps. So too easily taken.
There's absolutely, they're not comfortable. The batting side, they've been made to struggle in the middle. And of course, while that is happening, the overs are climbing. It's gradually getting down to the back end. So it's not about only squeezing singles, which they were unable to do in a great way in the middle. I think they were mastering that just about the 10th, 12th over. And the last 2 overs or so, it has been quite a struggle.
Nelson score on the board. We're hoping for something superstitious to happen. It was good feeling by Afraz Budu, a deep mid wicket. So just a single. So after this over, Naim, we get to the back phase, the end phase, where the batters feel that they have to score rapidly because time is running out. Sometimes at that stage as well, bowlers who are pretty smart pick up wickets quite easily.
Well, good single, but I don't think this is good enough. Here, why? Especially when you know you have the likes of the Samson coming down at the back. You need to give him at least 2 overs to occupy the crease so he can capitalize. So if you're going to stay in here and not bring Samson out, it means you've got to be making runs.
At the pitch report, Energy did say it's one of those pitches where the batters will have to work hard for their runs. So we're seeing slight to pace track now. Also rolling his fingers across the seam, Latsman. The off cutter, quick off break. Nice control. This is a good spell from him. Not express pace, good control. Licking the occasional extra butt. Otherwise, he kept the batters in check.
Drives down towards long off. Just a single, I guess.
That's the end of 3 overs for him. 1 for 19 at the end of 15. Anacondas sent in 115 for 3.
So I'll be joined by Anthony Kemraj, or Wadi Carr. And since he has joined the squad of FL Sport, well, he has done pretty well. I see a new car. So I guess he'll be flying past my home now because, yeah, the days are gone. Running out of gas, running out of battery. Hey, Wadi Carr, how you doing?
Good afternoon, too, Naeem. you bring a lot. You bring plenty of laughter to the commentary box, don't you? I respond to you appropriately, though.
That's a strong reply there by Hatiramani, getting it down the ground, but just a single. So it's becoming just a little bit frustrating for the batting side. They're unable to get it away, and in my calculation, by 18, 17, there should have been 140. They're quite away from that. And the last 2 overs, you can step on the gas as much as you wish.
This is pushed away. They get a very quick single. Apart from the boundary hitting, Naeem, we must know that the running has been pretty good. Apart from a few lapses that they've had out in the middle, generally speaking, they have been running pretty well. The ground fielding has not been that brilliant from the bowling side. We must say that. And I must come back to the point, Naeem. Every time I see you, I remember that coffee incident. Remember that? Would you like to elaborate on that a little bit?
Big swipe, missing outside the off stump. Well, every time I think coffee, I think you.
So we go hand in hand. That's the way brothers should live. Brotherly love. You went the distance to get me the coffee, and that happened to you. But never mind. You know, you're back. You're strong on your feet. That's good to know. Even though you're aging so fast.
I like how you call it brotherhood, but I'm the victim. You're the perpetrator. I'm the victim. You call it brotherhood. Now that's a big shot, but it's in the air. Danai is settling on it. He drops it. What a bad mistake here. Suresh Danai settling on it, and like he had 2 years, 6 months, 10 weeks, and 2 days, 45 minutes to take that catch.
Yes, it went high into the air. He settled there, reverse cup, trying to pull off the catch. He didn't do it. A bad miss there by Danai. And you know, this is the latter stage. This is where you want to take as many wickets as you possibly can. Because here is where the batting team, they can really step on the gas quickly, just 3 wickets down. This is pulled away. They will get a single down towards mid-wicket. And as I said, good rotation is right. And I was saying it tonight, they need to take their chances. The fielding team, they haven't done well today. We must say that.
I saw also, in support of what you're saying, there were several returns that came to either the striker's end or the non-striker's end, and no one was there backing up. So a bit of slips there. Down the pitch, Hetaramani dropping just in front of the fielder there.
Sometimes, you know, it surprises me. Fielding, one important facet of the game. Catching, I'm talking about. They say take your catches, win your matches. But sometimes it goes the other way around, and players don't take the chances. we've had 16 overs, ball 121 for 3. But they have 7 wickets in hand, and who knows, they can really step on the gas and step on it quickly. We look at the scoreboard, and we see Bodie 70 from a 39, Balgobin 9, Shiloh Adams 6, Hetramani is there on 17, and Anthony Adams on 9. Yet to bat, and I see Quinton Sampson there, you mentioned about him. He can really hit it very far away. Interesting situation there developing, Naim.
But I don't know if he's retired hurt or anything like that, but Sampson, quite possibly that was deliberate. I wouldn't be surprised if it's deliberate. But Quinton Sampson has come to the middle at a time when he'd be allowed 4 overs to occupy the crease, whether he can occupy it or not. If he has that ability to stay there. But I know if he does, the collateral damage that will be done to the fielding side will be remembered for many years.
Yes, he's one player who you can depend on. He can hit the ball very far away. He's very aggressive and can really tear into this attack.
Inside out, down towards the cover boundary, might just creep over the ropes. No, he doesn't have the energy. So Anthony Adams just getting into gear, overdrive, so to speak. He's not been middling the ball. So in all the circumstances, you would have to give kudos to the bowling side. They have managed to temper the rate at which the batting side, the Anacondas, were proceeding. And they've managed to bring down that aggression.
Yes, and since the fall of Kevon Bodie's wicket, the run rate has come down, in fact. This is hit down the ground. The fielder would not get there. They'll get a single, though. Yeah, these are the closing stages. Very interestingly, Sampson has come out. We know of his exploits. And once he can settle in Naim, we know what he can do, don't we?
I was very disappointed. He's one of the little persons I look out for. Look at his matches, that's at the inter-county level. But in the last match I described him, and that match actually was very important for him because the Harpy Eagles side was being selected, and he played quite an irrational shot. That's a style of batting, but most times he connects. Unfortunately, he got out at a poor score when the selectors were looking at him to contest his candidacy for the national side.
It's turned away, and this will go into the boundary for 4. Bad miss again by the fielder there at short fine. We've seen this time and again. The ground fielding has been very poor. They get another boundary. They will welcome the runs, though. However, they come now 124 for 4, 128 in fact.
Well, that's not the way he likes to score his runs. He's more savage brutality when he's batting. He likes to obliterate the bowling. But that was quite an elegant shot. Quite frankly, it's the most elegant shot I've ever seen him play. That's more like Quinton Sampson. Where's that gone, by the way? In the next village, I guess.
Yes, look, he's very quick to pick the bounce of it, pick the pace of it. That was short into his wicket very quickly, and just pulled it over mid-wicket and picks up a boundary. And if he stays there, and as you said, if he stays there for a little while, we might be seeing some highlights towards the end of this innings. Who knows? But he's one batter who you can most times put your money on. High in the air. The fielder is coming around. And it takes a catch. In fact, it's caught and bowled. So he goes back to the pavilion, sadly, for just 8 9.
Yes, it's one of those that we saw actually in the intercounty senior 50 over tournament, where he preconceived or prefabricates these shots of aggression. Something that I remember also of Chemo Paul. Seem to tell yourself while the bowler is walking back to his mark, you're finished with. I'll kill you in this delivery here. And you preconceive what you are thinking you need to do and you get yourself out.
I don't have the problem about being aggressive and taking on the bowlers and all of that. But on the same note, you have to be very selective. I dare say he wasn't being selective there. Like some batters get carried away. Dismissed now at this stage in the 17th over is a huge blow for his team, I can tell you that for sure. Adams is there though, and he's battling away. He's a senior player in the team. And they'd want to push the score up, maybe to 160, who knows. If they get a 165, 170. The projected score is 157. If they do get past that, that's going to be quite commendable. But full credit to the bowling unit.
Well, they should be able to post at least another 20, at least. Anything over that will be a bonus. They have found themselves in a quite difficult position. And why I say that is because they were off to quite a flyer and did not maintain that pace.
This is well bowled. So excellent bowling there from Sinclair. And I was talking to Inderjeet when he was on, a different variety you can use. We've had 17 overs bowled, 133 for 5. I was talking to him about the different variety that a bowler can use. Once you're medium fast, there's so many deliveries you can try, Naeem. There's the slow bouncer. There is the off cutter you can try. There's a slow ball. So many deliveries you can try on a different day. We look at the summary here now when we see that after 17 overs, 133 for 5, Bodie 70, Hittermani 17, Anthony Adams 12. Maybe we can just look at a possible score here, Naeem, 133 for 5 from 17 overs.
They should be happy now if they get to perhaps 160, 165 because of the circumstances. They've been put to work. Suresh Danai is a very intelligent bowler, as I said. So runs would be a little scarce, but this game is called T20. And things can change in a jiffy within an over or so. But the people to change it, at least one has gone back to the pavilion, Samson.
This is high in the air. The ball is coming around. Takes a catch. Another wicket goes down. 133 for the loss of 6 wickets now on the bowling team. They're having the upper hand.
Well, that's what I meant, because you can aspire for something, but if you don't have the artillery in your camp, then even what you aspire for, even if you're taking down the target that you aspired for, but you have to have the artillery to execute. They have been losing wickets quite frequently, to be quite honest, and even now 160 looks like a reverie, a daydream.
Yeah, it looks tough from here now, and we see the young man, that's Keanu Hari coming out. Adams is there. He's quite experienced, so he should be the one now to lead here from the front.
Well, yesterday we saw teams scoring 175 and lost the game. So you've got to take it from there. 133 might not necessarily sound like a good total to me, even 150. So your ideal situation would have been maybe 180. That seems a little distant from them.
Yeah.
They get a very quick single. But runs on the board are always runs on the board. That's an old saying, Naeem. And once you can be able to defend that, once your bowling is pretty good, your ground feeling, catching is excellent, good captaincy as well, you can be able in most cases to defend the score, don't you?
That's an ambitious shot. It's in the air. Where's that gone? Seems as though that was pulled back. Nice effort there. Well, at the same time, you can't want to make 20 runs and defend it. So there's the ideal situation. The ideal situation here would have been 180. So as you put it, if you were going to get out at 150 perhaps, then you've got to work extra hard. Your bowlers will be put to the task.
They get a very quick single, coming back for the second.
Back up.
This is excellent running.
Well done.
And there you go. If you aren't having the boundaries, you aren't getting the boundaries, then the ones and twos turn the strike over. That's very important.
Absolutely, Wadikar. You've got to turn the strike over. Notice that they've cancelled this big hitting thing and they're pushing it around and scampering. That's what you've got to do.
Down the ground. And we'll get a second. They're contemplating a second, but they'll go back. So one more. We've had, 18 overs bowled, 137 for the loss of 6 wickets. When the fielding team would look at this score, most times than not, they will say, look, we did pretty well. 6 wickets down, 138. Pretty impressive bowling figures as well. Sinclair, 3 overs, 29 runs, 1 wicket. Ramprasad, the captain, 3 for 28. Prasad, 3 for 14. Danai completed his quota, 4 overs, 24 runs. So pretty good bowling figures. And as I said, the captain and the entire backroom staff would want to take this as a plus maybe. They haven't gone away with the score. It's only 138 for 6 wickets. But like you said, Naeem, 1 over can change. A few deliveries maybe. 4 deliveries can change the complexion of the game.
Well, 2 overs it's 12 deliveries, legal deliveries, and anything can happen if you can middle. The point is that Keanu Harvey and Anthony Adams, they're not middling. They've been struggling out there. So even the least amount of runs would seem pretty difficult to change, as you said, the complexion of the game. It becomes more difficult then.
Yes, so the LBI ground, lovely place to be in actually in the east coast of Demerara, just about maybe 20 minutes drive from the capital city of Georgetown. Basically,
well, if it's a minibus you're coming, you have to differentiate, and so the public would understand. If it's a minibus, it's just
a few minutes,
1.2 seconds.
In Guyana. Because we do drive a different rate, different pace. I take your point. Lovely place to be in actually on the east coast of Demerara. Beautiful village. Laban intention and the history of this place would go back in time and all of that. But it's great to be back here after my visit many years ago. Come back and see the developmental works being carried out here on the ground itself.
Over number 19, Keon Sinclair. Look at the height of this youngster, but I'm not seeing the kind of rhythm that I would have hoped for. That's a wide delivery, but he's tall, he's lanky, all the ingredients there, the elements, the basic elements, may I say. I'm not able to comment at a faster rate, or I want to see these youngsters with that physique able to push it through very fast. Smacked away into the offside.
Yes, Keon Sinclair has not done badly too. 1 for 33, this is his 4th over. In the 19th over, they have gone up to 142. If they get to 160 maybe, they'll take that, the batting team. The fielding team, that's the Piranhas, they'd want to restrict them under 150. that will be maybe a feather in their cap, so to speak. But let's see what will happen. You're not scoring badly though, just over 7. Slow delivery. And not picked up by the batter there. Excellent variety. 9.
Well, coming down to the back end, you've got to be as smart as possible with your bowling. Got to try to deceive, get it out of the reach of the batsman if you can.
This is tucked away powerfully, straight to the fielder at long on. And that's Adams gets another single. Good rotation in the strike. When you talk about slow bowling and variety towards the back end of an innings, you talk about Dwayne John Bravo. He has got the whole bag of it. That player from Trinidad and Tobago. Standout all-rounder.
That current run rate, 7.70, they should have, it would have been happier times for them if it had gone over 8, bordering on 9. But batting has not been easy after maybe the 9th, 10th over. It has become difficult. So runs were hard to come by, wickets were falling.
Yes, we look at the replay there. That was struck firmly back to the bowler. That's Sinclair. And couldn't really hold on to it. Went to ground. Another chance being put down. A number of them, actually. 19 overs bowler, 145 for 6.
I'm disappointed in Sinclair. That ball was not a Chris Gayle shot. It was average out of the bat, not like bullet. He was taken by surprise, but I'm just disappointed at that age. You snap up things like that. There's some bowlers across the world who are bowling at world-class speed. And I've seen Brett Lee, for example, out of Australia, take some return catches out of this world. Several other fast bowlers, some of the West Indians as well.
Yes, when you're a bowler, you've got to be able to take your return catches. It's absolutely important that you do that. So we're up for the final over. Let's see what will happen here. High in the air. The fielder is coming around, takes the catch. And another wicket goes down. That of Anthony Adams goes back to the dugout, to the pavilion. He's gone for what, 16 and 145 now. I make it for the loss of 7 wickets.
Well, only when coming down to the end of the innings that you'll be able to assess, to look back in retrospect. Now you understand the value of Kevin Bodie's wicket, that he got 70. Now you see the importance of that innings. And I think he that was a marvelous job. And without that, subtract 70, they would have been just over 70, the score, without Bodie's 70.
Yes, and I'm really happy to, as a cricket follower, cricket fanatic, to see that Kevin Bodie did get that amount of runs. Maybe I would have been happier to see him get 100 in this National T20 League. But what a way to come out and, answer some of your critics, maybe, if I can put it that way, to get 70 off 39. He really hit the ball around and so forth. He's very aggressive. But these are the closing stages. 5 legal deliveries to go. They're 145. Maybe they can push to 160. Who knows? Latchman take nothing away from him. 2 for 19. This is his 4th over. Excellent spell so far.
Yes, he's bowled with a lot of control. There's no doubt about that. He's not trying to get bullet speed. And for Kevin Bodie, I think he's a very complete batsman. I've seen him played shots pulling down the leg side, in the middle of the bat, cover driving, so good potential.
This is pushed into the offside. They get a single. So they're going by ones now. 146, I make that. They have 4 legal deliveries to go. You never know what's going to be the final count, because this game of T20 cricket, and as you said, it changes so quickly. In the blink of an eye, something can happen.
He's connected there, but will go straight towards to a fielder. But simply they have not been getting it in the middle of the bat. When Samson came out, he got a few of them, scored a couple of boundaries, and then faded away in the distance. And that has been the pattern of the innings ever since Bodie left the middle. Now this one peels off the bat. Let's see where that goes. Out on the offside.
So another wicket goes down again, Naim, towards the end. We look at the replay now. Yes, he was looking for the offside drive. It spooned off the edge of the bat down towards backward point area, and the fielder really took a very good catch. Finally, they have held on to a catch, which is very good.
I think it was a well-judged catch as well. That youngster had to go across quite a distance on the offside. Remember that ball peeled off the bat offside. So it was traveling into the wind, moving and changing direction as it goes. And those positions are always very difficult, especially if you're a cover fielder, for example. I remember Fouad Bacchus, because the ball spins, and when it touches the turf in the covers there, it can move, especially at point or backward point. The ball moves and changes direction.
Goes for an almighty heave or pull down towards mid-wicket, but misses, taken by the keeper. You mentioned Fouad Bacchus. I did not get to see him in live action, but I was told he was an excellent fielder in the cover area name. I guess you would have some... I guess you would have fond memories of Fouad Bacchus. High, down the ground. And this will go all the way for a maximum 6 runs, and that will close the innings. Am I correct? Yes, so the innings closes. We're just awaiting the final score to come up here. But towards the end, they get a 6, which is very valuable. And after being inserted to bat 9, do you think that they're going to be happy with the final score?
The problem is I can't see the final score, so we'll have to wait for a while until we get that. That will be popping up in just a while. But I don't think that they reached a total that they set out to reach. After being so well placed, when the first wicket fell, there were 41 for the loss of 1. The second wicket, there were 81 for the loss of 1. So they had a very, very good start. So I don't think that they'll be happy with the end result. And so it's a relatively good total, and they would have to fight to defend that if they've got the bowling skill.
Yes, so after being being inserted, relatively good score, challenging score, not a huge one by any means, but a fighting one. And I did say earlier, once they can come out, bowl well, feel well, and defend the runs, the 1-5-3, I think that, it's going to be a very competitive game. Just don't come out with the mindset of saying that, look, we haven't scored enough. There's where going to be your downfall. You have to come out with the intentions of winning the game.
Right, and as I've been listening to my co-commentators as well, the pace of the pitch has been quite two-faced. So you never know. 154, the side replying, the Piranhas would have to get a good start as possible, a very good start, and to go there. So it's a game, it's wide open. 154 by no chance is 104. It's 154. It's relatively decent, I'd say, and let's wait and see what happens. So that's the latest here from the LBI Community Centre ground. The Piranhas winning the toss, sending in the Anacondas to bat first, 154 for the loss of 6 in 20 overs. The highlight for the Anacondas, 70 from Kevin Bodie, and that has been the highlight of that innings. So we'll be back in a while. On behalf of my friends and co-commentators, you can join us maybe in just about 40 minutes' time.
Done. After 35. Can you hear? You hear it? Now on field now, 20 overs completed. Kevin Bodie, the top scorer of the first innings, 70, 39 deliveries, 10 fours and 2 sixes. How was batting there today?
It was a bit challenging. The wicket was a bit up and down, but once you apply yourself, you will get a score. Yes.
So is it really a 150 wicket, 153 posted on the board?
I know it's challenging to bat there, so hopefully 150 is enough.
Yeah. So what was the most challenging part of it? Is it scoring or actually trying to actually negotiate the bowlers?
Scoring for me. The bowlers bowl well, but I try to take them off the line of length and play to my strength.
Yeah, the next best score was 17 really from Hitter Mani, pretty much down the order. So I guess it was really good for you. What was your form like coming into this tournament? What preparation you had coming into this tournament?
Well, we played a couple games, T20 and T10 games. I had a couple 20s, so it was a bit good, but not really scores I was looking for. But now I come here and get the first game, and we had a good start, so hopefully I could carry on from here.
Yeah, you mentioned 153. Is it going to be enough?
Yes, it will.
All right, good luck. Go well. All right, so first half of this game completed. One player getting 70. Let's see who will come out victors at the end of the next 20. So welcome back to the LBI Community Centre ground on the east coast of Demerara. We're about to begin the run chase with Garfield Phillips. Outside the line of the off stump, first delivery to Adrian Sukwa. The run chase has begun already with that wide. The Piranhas 153 when they... Actually, the Anacondas 153 when they batted. It means 154 is the target now. For the Piranhas, Sukwa is off and running now. So it's Sukwa and Rashad Ghafoor starting things off for the Piranhas. Cool conditions now, Sunday afternoon. Nice crowd building up. And a man who loves his black water in the jeet alongside. Left arm spin. They have lots of those in this Anacondas lineup. So Garfield Phillips getting his first opportunity with the new ball. Hello, Inderjeet.
Hello to you, John. Hello to all viewers and listeners. Yes, black water is soothing to the soul. Can't go wrong with that. Energizes the body. 154 is the target here for the Piranhas. And it's not going to be easy whatsoever. I think on this type of pitch, 153 is a very good total. It's going to take a lot of sensible batting and some hard hitting as well to get to that 154.
Little bit of a conversation with Kevin Bodie officially. He said a pitch, just like you said at the pitch report in the Jeet, takes some time to get in. Scoring can be a bit of a challenge. So these openers now at the top of the order for the Piranhas, we really want to take this opportunity to see it very close to that 154 target. Someone at the top of the order must take the responsibility. But Phillips, one of the underrated spinners from the Cinderella County, has an opportunity as well to put things in his favor and for his side, the Anacondas.
Yes, and the partnership that they're looking to build here must be built on sensible batting. Look for the singles and ensure at least in the 6 overs you do not lose too many wickets. If not, do not lose any. That will give them the necessary foundation to tackle that 154. It's not going to be easy. Balls are going to keep low. It's going to take some time to come off the pitch. So you must settle in. And once you settle in, do not get out too early.
Anthony Adams, the broad smile on his face. Had a toss, said 150 will be pretty much comfortable for the Anacondas. Got 153 in the end. So bonus 3 for him. But Jonathan Rampasad said also at that toss in the Jeet that he'll be looking to restrict the side to about 150, which they think is manageable on this track. End of the opening over. Just 4 without loss.
Yes, and we are going to see maybe how just good that innings by Bodie was, 70. He played well in the first 6 overs. We saw a flurry of boundaries from him. He settled down nicely in the middle overs, guided the team, and that knock was a very smart innings by Kevin Bodie. Very valuable in the scheme of things of that 153. It is gettable, 154. The Piranhas will have to bat real good, though, to get there. It's not going to be easy whatsoever.
And I'm sure Bodie would have been passing on some information to the bowlers because he was there for some time. So that knowledge gathered while in the middle. So that information sharing is always important. Quinton Sampson will pick up the attack. Coming from the northern end, the highway end here at LBI.
And Quinton has been going through very tough times. He has not been able to put any score of significance, against his name. And that sometimes plays inside of the head. He's been stepping on the back foot on numerous occasions, looking to, hit sixes off the back foot and not making the kind of connections. Soft dismissals in the inter-county tournament. Came back here today, the first match for him in this Guyana Cricket Board National T20 League powered by BetCageSports. And maybe if he can have a good bowling spell, the confidence level will be back. We've spoken so many times about him hitting the ball very hard. We have to choose which ball to hit.
Sukur driving and missing. Driving on the inner part of that ball, the ball beating the outside edge. It was a ball that was up for the drive, but look at that, a wide slip. Seer hitter Mani is there. Could have been in with a shout had Sukur committed to the stroke, but just playing inside. Start of the second over. Slight misfield from Ushudeva Balgobin. Usually behind the stumps, Balgobin. This time in the outfield with Bodhi holding the gloves and pads. So single to Sukur.
Yes, and the name Sukur rings a bell in quarantine cricket in the early days, John. There was an Adrian Sukur, who I understand scored the first triple century in Berbice cricket. That's a longer version of the game. Used to play for the mental hospital in those days. They had a beautiful ground. Don't ask me if I was there. I actually read about it, John Ramsing.
It's quite interesting that the mental hospital had a team.
They had a ground.
Well, the ground.
Yes. The mental hospital sports ground was one of the best in Berbice.
Are you crazy? Oh, just kidding. I heard stories indeed. Yeah. It's no more, is it?
Well, I think it has gone through different changes. It's not one of the top grounds. I think the land is still there. How much cricket is played on it, I don't know.
Poor delivery from Sampson. Wayward. And a wide signaled. So the extras will help as well. 154 is the target, still in the second.
And sometimes, John, these things can play up on the mind. He knows he's not doing good with the ball. Can't be too hard on yourselves. These things do happen. Just calm down a little. Sometimes the best in the world go through these kinds of situations. And, you know, it is a test of your character. How strong do you come back? No doubt Quinton Sampson is going to come back very, very strong. He's too talented. But this is a period that's going to test everything for him.
Given. Big appeal for a leg before. And umpire Nagasar says, you have to go, young man. Rashad Ghafoor, the first batter to be dismissed this afternoon. How was that in the JIT? Oh, batter not saying, well, gesticulating that he might have had some bat.
Well, we didn't hear any nick whatsoever from here. Do we have a stump mic down there? No, we have it on the... Yes, the stump mic is there. We didn't hear any two songs whatsoever. But young Rashad Ghafoor, he plays for the Edwards Sports Club on the west coast of Berbice, has to go. They think highly of him. He's a good young player. But he got a delivery that was well pitched up there. Looked pretty straight from here on.
So the breakthrough coming at the end of the second over. 7 for the loss of 1 wicket. Sampson sent back Ghafoor like before. Yeah, definitely hitting leg stump. From the trajectory of the delivery previously as well, you can sense that once the batter misses, it will go on to hit. And like you said, did not hear any wood sound, so the bat could have saved him. Garfield Phillips again.
Bowling well to the field placement for Garfield Phillip, knowing there's protection in the offside unless The right-hander wants to go over the top. Well, that's going to be risky. Now they're sending out the first slip down towards the cover region. So some changes are being made here now.
Soko looks fit, looks very muscular, has been working on his physique. In fact, right after on the 19s, at a national level, we saw him muscling up a little bit. Haven't seen him maybe a year or so. Still maintaining that physique of his. Good to see.
Yes, and you can tell from his eyes there through the visor and the helmet, serious looking. It tells about the level of his concentration out in the middle. That was a good delivery by Garfield Phillip. One tossed up generously, inviting the batter to go over the top. He did not. Now just getting onto the back foot there on the upper, and it went away down towards the short third man region. Cannot score. So we're in over number 3. Already they're behind the required scoring rate. And now he's hoisting this one into the onside field, down towards the boundary region, and gets a single.
So the skipper's off the mark, Jonathan Rampasad. This is over number 3 in progress. Garfield Phillips usually bowls in a power play with the new ball. Just at the last moment in the G, just tweaks his fingers. That's where the revolutions come from. End of 3, 10 for 1.
And that was exceptionally good running between the wickets. Played with soft hands. Something that we really didn't see in the first innings by the Anacondas. But this is refreshing. And if you can score 2 and 3 singles, off the first 3 deliveries, sometimes you can turn 1 into 2. The pressure goes right back on the bowler. You do not want the bowler to get into that comfort zone where he feels he's getting the better of you. And then you take on due risk. So running of the singles are of vital importance. And I like what I saw in that previous over. And John, this calls for awareness level. You know where your singles can be had. And you play within that. And that is exactly what Sokwa did with the previous delivery and immediately took off for the single. So now they're just trying to build a momentum here.
The Pitbulls, after a big win tonight, will be back in action. Big win last night. Will be back in action against the Anacondas at Lusignan. That'll be as we shift to the Lusignan after LBI. Beautiful flowing extra cover drive this time. And Jonathan Rampasad gets a boundary. Sampson over pitching, paying the price.
Yes, that was a good looking shot. Class written all over it. Perfectly placed. And didn't look to hit in the air. Picked the gap nicely. That was hit to the right of the cover fielder. Well played.
But still a game on tonight. Escobar Jaguars taking on the Berbice Caimans. Scheduled for 7 p.m. on the lights. As we get ready for the Festival of Lights in Guyana and around the world.
Yes, what a wonderful festival. A festival of enlightenment. Well beaten there outside the line of the off stump. That was beautifully bowled by Quinton Sampson. Some drift there. And no doubt with the strong wind behind of him, the left-hander saw it pitched up and he thought he would have been going on the onside of the pitch. Sampson just holding that little clump of hair. Well played again. Just dropped it into the onside field. Samson here running wide of the crease and trying to get the ball angled into the left-hander. Looking to get it outside the line of the off stump and to draw him wide, looking for an edge.
But there is still that slip in play with Hitramani pretty wide. So both of the first slip and the keeper have the opportunity to dive, knowing that there's not a fielder close. Again, playing a miss in Sukwa. Yeah, tonight in the Jeet, second night match of the tournament. Jaguars against Caimans. That should be another good one.
Yes, the Jaguars won their first match. The Cayman lost their first game. So their back is against the wall. They will want to come out with a victory tonight. Can be tricky on the lights, especially with the strong wind here. That previous delivery was nicely disguised by Quinton Sampson. Coming off the palm of the hands, not the back. There are different strategies in getting the slower delivery. I think that's the reason why Sukwa just missed it.
This time, bat on ball. Come back for the second, pretty close. So another over completed. That's the end of 4 overs, 2 from Samson, 17 for 1.
And these two batters out in the middle, both Sukwa and his partner, they look much better. They're running between the wickets. Has been good, and thus over number 4, while they're just scoring at 4 runs and over, there was much more momentum to the innings in the previous over.
Secretary Armani replacing Garfield Phillip. Sent down 2 overs, picked up a wicket. Phillips was actually going to bowl, give the umpire his sunshades already. But then Armani called in belatedly.
I guess as the tournament goes on and young cricketers understand the art of good batting, you know, they will certainly develop. Maybe he got on the back foot there, played a little bit too early, forcing the ball. Rather than just wait on it and open the face and get a single. Ramani, who is bowling here, had a fine century in East Bank cricket a few days ago. Oh, they will surely take a single. Well played. Didn't look to hit it too hard, the left-hander.
He had a match-winning ton indeed. Ramani playing for Hostelling A against Eccles. East Bank Cricket Association final along the East Bank of Demerara. From all reports, quite a flawless knock it was from him. Plays a lot of tape ball cricket now. Ramani. Sukwa, a little bit agricultural, but quite effective. Could get a boundary, yes he does. Chasing figure of Oren Gibson cannot stop it.
Yes, well what he did there was to pick the field nicely. He knows that's open territory there, and he went to it a horizontal bat, getting the boundary, scattering some pigeons in that direction too. Boundary that will bring a lot of relief here.
Quite a unique hairstyle as well for Adrian Sukwa. Revealing it now that he has gotten rid of the helmet. In the air, but over the field at short third. And we get another boundary. The second boundary of the over. Runs coming now for the Berbice Piranhas.
Yes, and now we're seeing what's so cool. That was a deliberate shot, going in the air and had enough on the bat to pick up the boundary. He looks a very, very serious guy out in the middle. Tells about his concentration level. Now this is good. Good aggression with sound defense. 27 for 1, 5 gone.
Communication tower here at LBI. One of the fast rising, expansive communities now. Neighboring village, Bedford-Wacton. That's where the tower is, where one of the main communication giants has a sub office. 5 overs gone, 1 more to go in the power play. The Purvis Piranhas 27 for 1. The target is 154 from their 20 overs. Need some work to get back on the scoring track. Pegged back not only because of the loss of 1 wicket, but some good bowling generally by the Essequibo Anacondas. The man Anthony Kemraj joins me. Anthony, slow but steady progress for the Piranhas.
Good afternoon to you, John. Good afternoon to listeners and viewers on FL Sport. As you said, it's slow progress. Inside out. And that will go away for 4. Lovely shot, actually. Getting to the pitch of it. And once you get to the pitch of it, John, you can be able to free your arms. And he did that there. Isn't that so?
Yeah, nice shot from Jonathan Rampasad. Yeah, getting in line and hitting the ball inside out. Stretching long forward and getting it as a half volley. That good connection, nice bat from him. It went into the boundary quickly. This time going through the onside. In the air as well, but it will be tidied up. Just 1, well no, just 2. Good work on the boundary.
The important thing here for the Piranhas is that the captain, Rampersad, needs to stay there for a pretty long time. And he has upped his scoring. That's very interesting as well. So once he stays there, that's good. John, in the previous innings, we saw 7 catches correction being put down. You don't want a repeat of that for this fielding unit, isn't that so?
Catches are pretty critical in this form, well, any form of cricket. So if you're going to floor chances, you give the opportunity to your opposition to extend their innings. 7 chances, wow. Even if you had taken 4 of those, that side would have been all out. And could have been a different story chasing.
Yes, they came out, needing to get just over 7 per over. Not a huge task. But once the Anacondas can maintain this sort of a stem of flow of runs by the Piranhas, they're not in any way getting away with the runs. 6 over 34 runs, 1 wicket down. I would call it's even Stevens.
Looking for the reverse sweep. The chase is on by Harry. He's going to come second. Runs off the bat. So look at that. We saw him in the previous over getting a bit agricultural. This time reverse sweeping with switch hit actually, and bringing him 4 more runs.
We have seen the switch hit being used over time, so to speak now. So many batters attempting that switch hit. And they try to change the course of an innings and all of that. Some of them get through, some don't.
It's the final over of the power play. Ramsamy is bowling his first. Abdul Ramsamy. There is Oren Gibson threatening to throw but does not. 11 runs, 12 runs now from 5 deliveries. So the power play now beginning to look a bit more impressive for the Burmese Piranhas.
Yes, it's a really dicey situation. The captain has to stay there along with Sukwa, but take nothing away from the Anacondas. They're doing pretty well. Beaten outside the off stump. Excellent delivery there from the right arm off spinner. So we've had 6 overs bowled here at LBI. The score is 39 for 1. And John, we were talking about, myself and Ninji, we were talking about before the game that the level of competition that we have seen so far, the level of cricket, the high standards. It's a wonderful opportunity as we look at the bowling figures. You see what? Phillips, 2 overs for 8 runs. Samson, 2 for 10, 1 wicket. Hitramani, 1 for 9. Ramsamy, 1 for 12. We were talking about the players. It presents that opportunity to the players who are on the fringe. Wonderful opportunity for them.
The national side, the Super 50, ringing out today. Get into action pretty soon. And that's it is going to be a long season for those guys. So this tournament is twofolds. The players that are on standby are pretty much being active in this tournament. Standby for Super 50, that is. But also these guys, like you mentioned, French players getting an opportunity. Some of them would not have been able to get had those players from the Super 50 squad been available to play. So it opens up opportunities. Doors are opening. It's a good position to be in.
Yes, for example, a player of Sukwa's talent and all of that coming from Burmese, pretty good player. We've seen him in this competition. This is cut away, but straight to the fielder. Good bowling here from Harry. Keanu Harry has that variety as well. Pretty interesting bowler coming on. Ringing the changes around the captain.
Yeah, one other player you can look at is Sigar Hitramani, who's actually now getting his opportunity. Was not originally in the squad, but because Niall Smith chance directed not coming, and the umpire had to do some skipping, but just couldn't get out of the way. Imran Mokan, right? Someone like Niall Smith missed out initially on the Super 50 berth. Eventually got a chance after some issues with runs for beaten. Now Sigar Termani has replaced Niall Smith in the squad and is playing here today. Not originally in the squad, but now in the 11 for his team.
It does happen sometimes, and it presents that opportunity. Players are on the bench, they get an opportunity. They're standby players. A player is absent or does not make a team because of a certain reason. And a player comes in, presents that opportunity. Young player, why not? Take it with both hands.
That is exactly what's happening. Harry plays at the Demerara Cricket Club. The Bartitian, region number 7. But it's going to be Jonathan Rampasad on strike. The captain of the Burmese Piranhas in red and blue. Rampasad on 14. Suka's been there from the start on 22. 40 for the loss of 1. Target is 154. 114 runs away. Nicely flighted. Good controlled stroke as well. Pressuring the fielder to come back for the second. Not a direct hit this time. So they're home easily.
Here is a young man, Jonathan Ramprasad, who does well in academics as well. And here he's playing a cricket match and he's doing pretty well to win cricket. So it just goes to show that academics and sports, John, can go hand in hand. That's nice to see. Attempted sweep. I was going maybe for the conventional sweep. Gets a single. Good rotation in the strike though. I like this. If the boundaries aren't coming, you get the singles. Rotation in the strike. That's nice to see.
It was a hallmark of the batting in the previous innings when the boundaries were not coming at the top of the innings, but they were busy between the sticks. This could be a boundary for Sukwa. It was well placed. Well, nicely played. Fielder's right back on the boundary. Looks like Chatura.
Keep going now, keep going now, hey!
43 for 1. So steady progress. Like I said, slow progress on the 7 runs and over. They're scoring. And they're required from this stage, if they want to win, to score almost 8.5 runs and over.
And I don't think that's going to be a big worry for them. The reason being, they have their captain there. That's Ramprasad. He's 17. He is playing the anchor role here right now. And Sukwa is 23 from 19. So this is the opportunity for both players to go on and get good scores. And that's nice to see. 110 runs to get in 78 balls. Not a big ask, not a huge ask. They started needing to get just over 7. The required rate is just over 8 now. So let's see what will happen. So let me just remind you, this is the Guyana Cricket Board National T20 League, powered by BetCageSports, under the patronage of His Excellency President Mohammed Irfan Ali. And I must give kudos to each and every one who has worked tirelessly, John, to put the pieces together to have this tournament off.
Captain Adams now into the attack. Anacondas searching for a wicket. Partnership building here now with Sukwa and his captain Ramprasad. Yes, Anthony, it really is a good tournament for many reasons. Look at the opportunities being afforded to these players, the umpires, for this ground as well to get back into shape. A good delivery, jumped on him. But he's been there for a long time now, Sukwa. I've seen a lot of deliveries, but he's preserving his wicket nicely.
Yeah, this is a trump card for his team, Anthony Adams. He presents that opportunity. Let's see what he can deliver. This is driven down the ground. He'll get a single. Nicely played. Not too much of power. Good running between the wickets as well. So there is rotation in the strike. They're going nicely along. They don't need to do anything out of the ordinary. Once you have wickets, John, runs can be had, isn't that so?
But that is the old adage. Ramprasad, nice innings from him as captain. Looking busy at the crease. 17 from 16.
What we're seeing here, and I must make mention of this, in the previous innings, we didn't see the ground fielding so as much as, brilliant as these players out in the middle here. The fielding is quite good. The ground fielding, that is. The Piranhas, they were a little bit ragged in the field. But it's always important, John, when you're fielding, your ground fielding at least can be good or can be brilliant, because it presents that opportunity for you to take wickets.
A single and a wide in this over. Building some pressure, Anthony Adams. That's his usual ploy. His bowls pretty stingy spells. And because of that, that's when you tend to, as batters try to release the shackles, try to take him on, they tend to lose his wicket. They lose their wickets. That's what he's doing. And that is the support you're speaking of. With support from the fielders. 108 still needed. Some energy into this one now. Finding the gap at cow corner. Splitting two fielders, mid-wicket and long on. And a 4 to end Adams' first over. End of 8. 50 on the board for the loss of 1.
Wow, they've brought up their 50. What a shot by the captain Rampersad, and I did say he needs to stay there for a pretty long time. The Anacondas would want to see the back of him. I dare say that. But these two, they know what they're doing. They're playing pretty smart cricket. That's the way to go. They're not in any way getting away with the runs. It's 50 for 1 off 8 overs, but they're doing pretty well.
Sunday afternoon crowd building. See some of the Berbice players as well. Coach of the Piranha side. Coach of the Anaconda side, actually. Andre Percival next to Norman the Juiceman. Balram Samaru's there in the front as well. One of the selectors in Guyana. Keanu Hari continues. This is his second now. The 9th of the innings. 103 still needed from 71 deliveries. The asking rate just under 9 runs and over because they scored just over 6 runs and over.
This is pulled away, and the fielder doesn't get there and will go into the boundary for 4. Whether he got hands hit, we'll just await the replay. But nevertheless, Rampersad picks up a boundary, and that's very important for his team.
On the line of the leg stump, and he got good connection. Looks like Ramnarayan Chatura there, not able to hold on.
He's a very smart cricketer. He wants to keep his wicket, and at the same time, he must score. And he's adjusting well to the pace and bounce of this track as well. There you see John running, very important. He just tucked it into the onside, got away very quickly. His partner responded, and that's very important. So both are scoring at a very brisk rate, 25 from 23 and 26 from 22.
Good aggressive running. Converting 1.5 into 2. The ball went way down to fine leg. And hit Ramani had to give a long chase. So the runs flowing again. Scoring rate rising. You can say not at a fast rate. Diving over the ball again. Ball is following this fielder around. And it goes into the boundary for 4. So once it beat the inner ring, chances are of chasing it becomes very slim. So another boundary to Sukwa is the end of 9, 62 for 1.
Yeah, it just goes to show too, you might be looking at the outfield and thinking, you know, what am I looking at here? We're not seeing the normal green outfield that we'd see in most occasions. We look at some of the pictures there across beautiful Guyana, John.
That's the aerial view of LBI, where we are operating from. In the distance, you can see the mighty Atlantic, because that is like a northeastern view from the LBI Community Center ground overlooking the East Coast Demerara Highway. You can see some sections of neighboring Bedford-Wacton. Lovely aerial view indeed. In reply to 153, it's now 62 for 1, 9 overs gone. One more before the halfway stage, one more before drinks. Look at that. Magnificent aerial view.
Absolutely brilliant. And if you're overseas and you're watching and you want to visit Guyana, come right over. Why not? You can meet men like John Ramsing, Naim Chan, and Indrajit. What an amazing thing.
Abdul Ramsami will continue. This is over number 10. Right arm off break bowler.
Yeah, so as you said, John, they're not getting away with the runs. 62, 9 overs gone. But what they're doing, what's very important, is that they've kept their wickets. They have 9 wickets in the bag. They can step on the gas.
Again, good running. But as a batting side, you'll take this any day. The asking rate is not a big one. On the 9 runs and over. So if in the final over you're asked to score 8 or 9 runs and over, you'll take that any day.
Yes, and I think what they're doing exceptionally well too is that the right and left hand combination is creating some troubles for the fielding team in most cases.
Both batters in the striker's end, and it's going to be a disastrous end for Adrian Sukwa. Run out now, goes for 31, and somehow, either in the over leading up to the drinks break or after the drinks break, something disastrous happened. Good feeling from Keanu Harry, first of all, to stop the ball. There was Adrian Sukwa darting down to the striker's end. Rampasot is not going anywhere. He's gone for 31 now in a mix-up. It's now 61 for the loss of 2 in the 10th. I think the umpires will decide it's a good time to have a drink. I will have a drink as well. Maybe it's time for some coffee. Making way for the legend himself, Naim Chan.
Yeah, so we're at the halfway stage, and it's 64-4-2. Rampasot, though, is there. He's on 28, and he is staying there. He's occupying the crease, and that's very important. Welcome back after the drinks break, and we've lost the sunshine basically, but the players refreshing themselves. Ramsamy continues. Struck down the ground, another single. And I was telling John before the break, Naim, good calculation here from the captain at least, Rampasot, to stay there. But they had a miscommunication before that, and unfortunately Sukwa was run out. But in comes Ashraf Ali Budu, another talented cricketer coming out of Berbice, comes from the club of Albion. Let's see what he can deliver. Good afternoon to you, Naim.
I like the way Jonathan Rampasad has been handling the circumstances. He's a very composed player. I like his calm and his cool. No erratic display of shots. Because a lot of batsmen will get ruffled up in the circumstances when you have the kind of asking rate that the board is showing you at the moment. Good delivery there, absolutely good delivery, and just clipping the off stick. We'd have another look at that, I guess, in a while, but just clipping the off stick. And this is changing the equation a little bit, changing the equation where it's getting a little tighter, but Rampersad, as I said, is very calm. If he's got a support staff coming out, well, then I guess they can still put up a fight on this. But it seems even Stevens at the moment, and it's just a matter of application and squeezing a lot of runs out of the bowling. Good bowling.
Yes, what happened there to Bodo, he played over it. It was a ball pitched up. He didn't actually get to the pitch of it and played over it. Abdul Ramsami pretty well, 1 for 15 from 2 overs. So we see now, as you said, the Anacondas perhaps, just perhaps, getting their nose a little bit in front, 65 for 3 at the halfway stage. But the game of cricket, the T20 game, it's so fast-paced. In the space of a few deliveries, we talked about it earlier, it can change and change dramatically. With Glasgow coming in now, a lot will be depending on Rampersad to see how he can shepherd the flock. But point taken, he has played well.
And the figures at the side of his name actually would speak volumes of what I'm trying to say. He's not been erratic. He scored 29 off 25 balls, which seems to be a very determined attitude, and he's not taken unnecessary risks. So I think a lot will depend on him and hang on his shoulders.
And if you watch closely at the way he plays, whenever he plays a shot, he's always like, he's looking. He's very, taking his time about it. Not erratic, as you said, but just watching the situation, that's important. And when you're a leader, you have to lead from in front, isn't that so?
Up in the air, big shot there. 6 runs, that's maximum. I think that was in the slot, and he delivered.
Yes, as you said, in the slot, in the hitting zone actually, and got it to the full meat of the bat and picks up a maximum. That's important. So Glasgow off the mark right away. This is heaved away down towards mid-wicket, and that will go into the boundary for 4. Well, he has come up here and he's lit up the LBI ground in quick time. He's 10 from 2 and he's on his way. Naim?
Well, he's in overdrive. I guess Jonathan, the captain, would have these little private discussions with him. It's okay. Just keep your eyes on the ball if you're going to do that. He's done that with both shots. Good delivery, good comeback there from Segar Hatirumani. Still high wind coming across the ground. The weather forecast actually says it's going to be a cloudy day, so there's evidence of that. Cloudy, not necessarily rain. Nice breeze. Not a good delivery there from Hatirumani, and beating the outside bat.
Yes, from the morning session, from when we came this morning, we have had a heavy wind coming into our commentary area across the ground. And as you said, we've lost the sunshine, very windy, very cool. Bowler-friendly conditions, isn't that so?
Well, friendly cricketing conditions because it's cool. That's the end of 11, 76 for the loss of 3. And the equation appears and disappears on the screen. So you're keeping abreast with exactly how many deliveries, 54 balls, 78 runs, in all circumstances, quite gettable once you can be as sober-headed as possible in your approach. Look at the wooden structures there going back to the 1980s. It was almost exclusively wooden structures in Guyana. And in the late 80s and 90s, we started to see concrete structures. But basically, they were all wooden structures. That's what we have an abundance of.
And many made from our very own as well, green heart.
Some of the best species, over 1,000 species of wood coming out deep down in the Amazon region of our country. Quicker ball. Good thinking here from Ramsamy. He's had 1 for 16. This is over number 3 for him. He's been quite steady. Sion Glasgow would want to stay there. He's had a blast a few balls ago. That was a potential blast that he didn't take advantage on.
Yeah, he missed it completely. Full pitch delivery, didn't get the meat of the bat. But full credit here to Ramsamy. What Ramsamy has done, he's slowed his pace to a great lot from when he started. Realizing that, he has to bowl much slower. So he's going to get more purchase from the wicket and all of that. Brilliant thinking.
That's the idea. But on occasions, you would want and need, after squeezing singles and twos, you will need a Sion Glasgow shot. Every over, maybe once, you need something where the ball goes to the boundary. But if you can temper that as much as possible and keep your head on, then victory is definitely in sight.
Rampasad plays the reverse sweep, and loud appeal by the players. Not out, says the umpire, Nagasar, and he lives to fight another day. Very dangerous though. Time and again we've seen that.
Well, I guess these youngsters over the years, A.B. de Villiers and company, who have mastered that stroke, a lot of the youngsters just see that and I'm going to do it. Regardless of it, if my side is in trouble. Well, they've got to learn it at some time, and so many of them sacrifice their wickets in the process. I've seen Kimo Paul do it with measured success only. End of 12, 82 for the loss of 3. At the end of 12, the fielding side were 96 for 2.
Yes, so look, the 3 wickets down. Again, we have an aerial view, and credit to our cameraman here, FL Sport, doing a tremendous job, having some aerial view of what's happening out in the middle. And the coastline of Guyana, absolutely beautiful place to be in this country.
Well, the government, whichever government, all the successive governments they've had, the only disturbing factor for those people outside of my country who may not know the geographical layout, we are very close to the Atlantic Ocean. We are just about 6 feet below, so a lot of sea defense work has to be put in. Squared up on the offside from Glasgow. Glasgow is a free-flowing batsman, and he would not be bogged down. You can see that in his personality, in his body language.
Yeah, see, he's a pretty cool customer. He'd want to stay calm and bat along with his captain.
Ball in, ball in. Huh? One.
This is tucked away into the onside. You get another single. And you were talking about the massive work being done on all of that on the coastline. And we must say, Naeem, Guyana is heading for greatness in terms of development and all of that. So that's really nice to see.
Yes, by heaps and bounds. The country just jumping away. And I hope with all of this that everything would be so structured so well that from the Dutch disease to all the other issues that come along with development, that we'll monitor all of those things. Now that's a sign of frustration there from Sion Glasgow. It was really wide of the off stick, and he was just attempting to hoist it straight back past the bowler. Didn't succeed.
Yes, time and again you're going to find this with Glasgow. He's very strong, broad shoulders.
Catch it!
This is down the ground. And it just bounces before it gets to the fielder there. But Rampersad gets not a single. It's important that he stays there for a pretty long time. 68 to get in 42 Naim with wickets to go. It's quite gettable, isn't it?
Yeah, they're batting with sense. That was an outside edge, actually. It peeled off the side of the bat. I think he was deceived absolutely by the flight of the ball from Heterbani. So 13 gone, 86 for 3. And once Jonathan Rampersad remains there with that sobriety that he's been displaying, and look at the score and monitor the runs and the balls, you don't want it to remain at that level percentage-wise for a long time. You have to bring it down gradually so that it becomes equal balls to runs coming down to crunch time. You don't want a situation where the asking rate is too high also.
Yes, and another thing too, as you said, you want to maintain that high scoring rate. Keep abreast with what's happening out in the middle. Don't be too far away from the required rate, which is just over 9. It's not huge, but it's it's getting there. It's getting high. So you want to watch that as well, and you want to play pretty safe cricket. The captain is there, and Glasgow is playing well as well. So that's nice to see. Down the ground by Rampersad, and he will get another single. So Anthony Adams, who I think is the trump card here for his team, has the ball in hands and continues to bowl well.
Some more, please.
Very experienced. Beaten outside the off stump. Good bowling there from Adams.
Well, Adams is a seasoned campaigner. There's no doubt about that. He's one sensible cricketer and fighter.
And the thing is, he's very workmanlike, isn't that so? He gets behind, the play, and he produces something magical. Sometimes his left arm spin is quite brilliant. Just 7 runs, and this is his second over.
Anthony Adams has been around for so many years, seasoned campaigner. They pick up 2 runs there. At the inter-county level, he's been a champion cricketer.
Yes, absolutely. So, my good friend, a good colleague, Indrajit is saying 15 years he's been around, at least at the local circuit. That's a pretty long time.
Well, what kind of shot is that? It was held back there from Anthony Adams. Rampersad was into the hook shot, slow delivery, and did not make contact, and then it just fell down in front of his stumps and then into the stumps. There you go. From the thigh pad onto the stumps. Unfortunate out there. He's gone now for 36, and now a different picture seems to be evolving.
If you follow his mode of dismissal, the previous ball he was trying to pull as well, but what Adams did was to pull it down. This delivery, which was much closer to the body, he was also attempting a pull shot, and he didn't really actually get to it. Compliment, full kudos to Anthony Adams. He continues to impress. a senior man. He's playing his trade in Georgetown as well. So, he knows most about it, Naim, in this part of it, the cricketing world. And he's doing pretty well. They've lost 4 wickets now. The run rate is what? Just over 9. They need to get 66 from 37. So, it's touch and go for them now.
Well, it's the same thing we were saying in T20. The whole equation or complexion can change in radical time. In very, very short time. Either the batting side gets the advantage suddenly, or the bowling side gets the advantage if a wicket falls. So that's how it goes.
Yes, so we've lost the sunshine completely. It's rather cool now. We're still with the high wind. But like you said, the forecast today being cloudy, not necessarily rains. But it's getting pretty dark for sure. No doubt we're going to be seeing the artificial lights being switched on in a moment or two. If it continues, there you go. I call it right.
Well, not the one on screen. Now that one comes on. So that's going to take a while. It heats up. It gets brighter. 5 o'clock, that's a scheduled time. I see yesterday that's what they did at 5 to put it on. The next game is at 7 o'clock, catering also for that. So there you go, the scoreboards for you. 70 bogey. That was a magnificent knock that accounted for the success story of the Anacondas. Now the Berbice Piranhas. 36 from Rampasad, Sukwa 31, the principal scorers. So it's kind of open, and may I say, I think I'll give the advantage just tilting towards the Anacondas at this stage.
Yes, I would want to join you with that to say, look, they have a slight advantage because the run rate, which was just over 9, has gone up to 11. This is tucked away into the onside, and they'll get a single by Latchman. Is it Latchman? And they get another single. So it's slowly going up there, but the required rate is 11.
Well, with the loss of that wicket, Rampasad, it really worsens the scenario because he was there for a while, got 36, and he was looking very comfortable. With him around and no more loss of wickets, things were going pretty nicely. But all of a sudden, there's a little nosedive.
And here is where we must compliment Anthony Adams, Naim. He's brought his years of experience here, and he's leading, like a true leader. 2 brilliant overs, and his field placement has been excellent, supported by Bodie as well. So this is a quite brilliant all-round effort from the Anacondas.
Big swipe. That's going to go all the way towards the fine leg boundary. I don't think he got a nick onto it, but a big, hefty swipe. Joshua says he got a nick onto it. Let's wait. He has the earpiece. Outside edge, yes. Clean outside edge there. And we've got that microphone inserted by the stump, so Joshua will pick up those little thumps and noise. Joshua, one of our main men on the mixing board. Excellent job. And they've just started this career, actually. So great work. Outside edge. No, there's an appeal for caught behind. Not out, says the umpire. I thought for a moment that he got the outside edge. Should have asked Joshua first.
Excellent work here from Sagar Heteramani to bowl that ball outside the off stump there, putting lots of pressure on the left-hander. Didn't get the edge though. This is tucked away on the onside. You'll get another single. The runs are coming at a very slow pace now. The required rate has gone up over 11. So they're looking at 60 in 32. The Anacondas are surely on top now.
A few hefty swipes, like what we saw from Sion Glasgow. Again, things could keep changing. But you can see frustration stepping into the minds. Latchman is all out swiping. Glasgow has been swiping as well and missing. So, Hiram Scarum, that's what we say in local parlance. End of 15, 95 for 4. So, unless something happens from the batsman, especially Sion Glasgow, two big shots here or there can really change it around. Hi, Jeet.
Yeah, hello to you, Naeem. We have just seen there the schedule of the tournament. Clear, our next round of action will take place at the Lusignan ground. That's on the east coast of Demerara, and that's on Tuesday.
Outside edge dropping just in front of the fielder at backward point. That's Balgobin. Just dropping in front of him. And chancy shot close in. He was looking to swipe it outside the off stump. Sion Glasgow took the top edge actually in absolutely no control.
Yes, and it's getting a little bit more difficult with the required run rate climbing to 12 runs and over for the first time in the chase. These two, Latchman and Glasgow, will have to ensure there are a few boundaries. If they do not get the boundaries and not even the single here, it simply means the pressure will continue to pile up. An undue risk then will have to be taken. But they're coming up against Anthony Adams, just missing out on a Harpy Eagle call-up. He's on the standby list. Well, it's a big swing and a miss. Now he's going across the line, pays the penalty, should have been hitting straight here, and Latchman has to go.
He was very frustrated, I think. It's now or never. It's 6 or sticks. Well, that's how it ended up. 6 or on sticks instead of runs. So frustration. He was very frustrated. It has been quite a while he was being in there swiping at balls. 5 to get one single run. So Nigel Deodat comes in now, and the picture just about getting real, evolving, and the circumstances becoming clearer. The writing is on the wall, you can actually say, because they keep losing the wickets, and that's what is detrimental to the batting side.
It is, especially when you're in a run chase and the required run rate keep climbing all the time as Nigel Deodat makes his way out into the middle. Roughed up a little with the ball in the hand when he bowled. It's a good little all-rounder. Bowl left arm, bats right-handed. Adams 2 for 9 in his third over. And you're looking at wickets taken, Ricardo Adams. 4, economy rate excellent, 3.25. Clinton Pestano, 3 wickets. I thought he bowled well last night. They are among some of the leading wicket takers in this inaugural tournament. Takes his first delivery here, Nigel Deodat.
Big appeal, big shout there. The umpire gives him out. He doesn't like that. He stands up there, looks at the umpire as if to suggest, I really don't think I was out there. And the umpire probably in his mind saying, I don't care, just go. I feel you're out and I'm putting you out.
That was an instant decision by umpire Nagisar. Had no doubt in his mind whatsoever that the ball would have gone on to hit the stumps. Nigel Deodat departs for the trouble. And here is where you begin to lose too many wickets. It causes a lot of headache. Well, umpire Nagisar sends him along the way. 96 now for the loss of 6. We have a match coming up on the lights here tonight, and it's going to be the Jaguars against the Caimans. That starts at 7 p.m. on the lights. This innings is going to end on the lights. It gets pretty dark as we come down towards the end of the year.
But people outside of my country that don't know Guyana, you might wonder, well, how the hell these guys get these names for the respective teams? I just want to remind you that we are part of the Amazon, absolutely pristine rainforest. So the names of these teams basically reflect some of the animals that we have here in preponderance, and I'm talking about the caiman, the piranhas. The piranhas, their teeth are so sharp, they will cut through any part of your bone and flesh. I don't have much of both, actually.
Well, all of them are carnivorous animals, and associating themselves with these different names tells about the kind of cricket they're expected to play.
I like the term expected.
Yes.
The piranhas are not biting here.
And they're in deep waters, actually, the batting team. Yes, they're vicious. Piranhas normally hunt in shoals. And they love the black waters, definitely. 16 overs gone, 98 for 6. They need 56 runs from 24 balls. Piranhas, by nature, they are vicious. Many would have lost limbs, especially fingers, and suffered great bites. When they bit onto you, they're going to turn over, so they take the piece of flesh.
Where I come from, there were a lot of them. Plantation Hope, jet black water, like where you're from the Myconey Creek. And so they have a proliferation of them. They are very vicious. And many of our boys that bathe in those black waters, including myself, just I was fortunate not to have been a victim, and for varying reasons. I'm not tall, I don't have big muscles, and so they never got hold of me.
And you don't like to spend a lot of time in the water as well. You normally throw the water on yourself rather than go and have full-fledged swimming. Phillips, none for 8. 3 for 10. Look at Anthony Adams. Brilliant bowling. The other 2 wicket takers, Samson with 1, Abdul Ramsami with 1. They have done the job so far. And it's getting more and more difficult here for the Piranhas as they chase down that 154.
What the Anacondas are doing is what they normally do. Well, that must have gone a very far way, but it's high in the air, settling underneath. Good catch. That's a good catch. He had to run backwards, kept his eyes on the ball, and let me remind you that the lights are on. With all that distraction, had to run backwards for a long way. If you see the replay, you'd have an idea what I'm talking about. Good catch. Puts the fielding side in more command.
Yes, and applied pressure here by the Anacondas has sent the Piranhas scattering and diving for cover here this afternoon, and it's getting more out of hand. 14.61 is the required run rate. That's going to be difficult to get.
Has been very, very windy. If you look at the shirts of the players and see how ruffled they are, then you'd understand what a high wind. Actually, it's getting cool. Very cool in the comebox and outside. Nice for cricket. Nice conditions, especially with the scorching weather conditions that we've been having. It's so well deserved to have this nice high wind coming across the ground since yesterday in the last 2 matches.
Yes, wonderful conditions for cricket. Getting back to that last catch, Shahid Vera judged it beautifully and took it nicely as well. Suresh Dana has come out into the middle. We talked about the Piranhas, we didn't touch on the Anacondas. They are vicious.
And I was about to do that. They form a noose around you, wrap you, and then stretch you. Outside edge. Awful looking shot, first shot. It's nowhere in command, and when they stretch you, and those people outside of Guyana, they may have seen what an anaconda looks like. It's pretty long. Stretch you and break your limbs after wrapping you, and then they swallow you. The problem is, I can't fathom how they dissolve. They have so much of acid in their stomach. Outside edge, no. Taken by the wicketkeeper. And the acid in their stomach breaks you down, and then they digest. Amazing. They would swallow a whole goat and digest it like nothing. I mean, half goats don't walk around too, Indrajit. Should have been.
I hear you, Naeem.
Now, before you pelt the punch.
Well, they're going to get a single here. That should bring up the 100. The return comes in. Well, two of them have found themselves at the same end. Somebody's going to be run out by a long way. The second time in this batting innings by the Piranhas, we see two men in the same crease, and one of them is going to be run out. And that's, that's going to be Keon Sinclair, the skipper of the team. Suresh Danai, I think, holding his position, and Sinclair has to go. Remember the story with Sukwa and the skipper as well, Rampasad. So they're recoiling here, almost a duplication of what happened previously. 99 for the loss of 7. Yes, the Anaconda, they are terrible. Their entire body are made up of muscles. And just by the tailpiece, they have 3 very, very important what we'll call spurs. So that's the reason why when they wrap you, that sinks in, they get the strength from that, and the muscles begin to work. Their jaws can be thrown right back, open very large so that they swallow, and there's an internal suction there that takes it in. So it all speaks about viciousness and its splendor too. They're beautiful creature, do not announce their presence, and the anaconda is known as being the silent killer.
Well, I guess outside of here, they'll be wanting to hear what the other team's names are. And this is high in the air. Is someone going to get under it? Yes, and then drops it. Wow. And they were actually rolling over the Piranhas. And now all of a sudden, very high in the air. He had a lot of time, long on, come around, gauged it right, into his hands, and then outside again.
Yeah, should have been taken, but I guess gazing up at the lights that's extremely bright here, dropping down from that, just badly misjudged it. Romeo Demerara takes his first delivery. Boy, that's a pleasant shot, hustling away towards the boundary, and that's gone away for 4. What a fine shot off your first delivery.
Well, it's good to see him taking the pressure off the batting a little bit. It will take a lot more of those to bring them back in line. This is over number 18 in progress already.
Yes, and one of the other names, caimans. That's vicious as well. Belong to the crocodile family. The anaconda, that's amphibious. The crocodile anaconda. Well, in fact, we're talking about the caimans. They are creatures that will have their nose and their 2 eyes bulging out of the water. They are silent killers as well.
I guess they would see a lot of that on National Geographic, yes, from the Everglades in Florida.
There's a big swing and a miss outside the line of the off stump by Suresh Danai. And I think he's getting outside of the control of the batting team here this afternoon, the Piranhas.
At the international level, that's quite gettable with some of these world stars. The asking rate look very high now, just close to 17, in fact over 17 now.
17.53 or thereabout. We are in over number 18. Anthony Adams has led his team well, performing with the ball. 3 for 11. He's in his final over. Big swing, that's gone high in the air. Has it gotten the distance? It doesn't. Bubbles! Oh, and dropped it. Well. We've seen a number of drop catches. That's Gibson, the youngster, dropping one. And I think that's going to be roughly around the 9th or 10th drop catch we have seen so far in this match.
Well, according to Sunil, he told me there were about 7 alone in the other innings, the first innings.
Yes, should have taken it into the hands and out again. That's something they'll have to work on, both teams. Yeah, good play here, hustling the first run. That's all they're going to get. Let me remind you that the Anacondas, they posted 153 for the loss of 7. Kevin Bodie led that fight, fine knock of 70 from 39, and they're defending that with all their worth.
Look at Anthony Adams' disposition, calculating, spinning the ball, thinking. Quick single, direct hit, no. Would have made it in, I thought.
Yeah, so 18 overs gone. We're going to watch the drop catch here. Down the track, big swing. And high in the air. Gibson settling under it. Seems to have it covered at this stage. Boy, and it just went through the fingers. Made a valiant effort with the right hand to collect. And he just couldn't take the catch.
But on both occasions, Gibson and the previous one, the ball went so high that they had sufficient time basically to come around, settle under it, and still drop.
Yes, that's Gibson and Vera we're talking about. That's something that they will improve. So Quinton Sampson, 2 for 18 from 3. He's going to bowl his final over.
Into the onside. This should just be a single if it's cleanly fielded, and yes, second run on the take. But Sampson is always in the middle of everything. If you're batting, somebody expects a few sixes. They're fielding, they expect to see the energy come in the bowling department. He's always in the thick of things.
And I think that's because of the way he has performed in local cricket in Guyana.
Some of the best catches I'd seen too at Intercounty. Another one in the air. Someone, well, I don't think that they made a valiant effort enough. Men were converging there for the catch, if we see that replay.
Yes, and Garfield Phillips, he was the one that was closer to the ball and just holding back at the last minute, not putting in the dive, just preserving the body. Maybe the right decision by him, taking into consideration the situation of the game.
That was pretty easy. I looked at the scoreboard there to calculate. 40 from 10. It didn't do very well at mathematics, but that tells me it's 4 runs every ball.
Yes, maybe we turn our attention to the match coming up at 19 hours tonight on the lights, and that's between the Essequibo Jaguars and the Berbice Caimans. We saw them played yesterday. This is in the air, and falling safe just back over the head of Sampson. Broad smile across his face there. Suresh Danai looking for a maximum. Got the leading edge. Just like that. And fell safely. If you want to hit it in the air, that's the best place, behind the keeper. The bowler or behind the keeper as well.
Well, I seem to have a penchant for that. A lot of them have been struck in the air. That's also in the air, but will come into the gap. So some runs available there to the batting side.
Yes, so is that the end of the over? Or is there still one more delivery to go? Well, Sampson still has the ball in his hand. So the final delivery coming up in over number 19. We look towards that match tonight. The Caimans battered, beaten and bruised last night.
That's very high in the air. A man is settling, he takes it finally. And good to see that. Because it's becoming a little bit embarrassing to see so many catches being put down.
Well, that's a full toss. That should have been put away for a maximum of the bat of Danai. And he got it almost straight to the fielder down on the boundary and going down on his knees, ensuring he grabbed that in that basket. So another one has bitten the dust, or another nail in the coffin. Danai caught Ramsamy of Quinton Sampson. It's 117 for 9. Naim, last night the Caimans badly beaten.
Yes, convincingly so. And I was just also looking at this game with Sampson's figure 3 for 24. Very good play here. That's the game tonight and following games that will take place.
The Jaguars, they had a 4-wicket victory over the Demerara Hawks. Those are the two teams that will be playing tonight, as you can see at the top there. Those were matches played yesterday. The final over coming up here. Garfield Phillips none for 8. He's in his third over. It's a foregone conclusion now that the Piranhas, they're going to lose this game tonight.
Just look at that required run rate. I don't think in my career I saw such a high required run rate. Over 43.
Well, it's not going to happen today. They're not going to get the runs. Aryan Passat will be looking to bat out the overs and looking to score as well. Good looking shot by the left-hander.
And pose for the camera. Nothing is wrong with that. Stabbing shot into the offside field. Really a high wind. Gee, this is actually getting a little chilly. At your age, I advise that you can just button your shirt right up.
I have some coffee, Naim. I can treat it differently. So, 2 deliveries remain here, and it's going to be a fine victory for the Anacondas. Yes, and the bails have been whiffed off there. He's remained grounded, Aryan Passad. Here's the final delivery coming up. It's 120 for 9. Here's a drive and a comfortable 33-run victory for the Anacondas against the Piranhas. So they have tasted victory here in the 4th match of a day of doubleheader. Congratulations to the Anacondas. Well played.
Very well played, Jeet. Great game. So the players are just going to retreat now. And the Piranhas really losing out here. Convincingly beaten. That's the scorecard there for you, and just 31 from Sukra, 20. There was a nice 36 from Jonathan Rampasad. The bowling for you, the most wickets there. Great bowling from Quinton Sampson, picking up 3 for 24, and then the captain Anthony Adams 3 for 15. Just to emphasize that a little bit.
Yeah, so that's a massive big one coming up here tonight on the line. In the meantime, like I said, we are waiting on John Ramsing, and definitely he will get hold of somebody. This is the way we do it. We try to talk to a few of our players to get their views on special aspect of the match. But I can say to you, the Caimans tonight, under the captaincy of Joshua Wade, will be looking to come good with the like of John T. Thomas and Shaquille Williams. Sachin Singh didn't do too much the previous night. There's also Rivaldo Phillips in that lineup. Rennie, Mickle, along with some of our under-19 boys. Apple, Latif, I think, had a good match. And for the Jaguars, Ricardo Adams will be the skipper for that team. Dimitri Cameron. Yes. We're going to go across to John Ramsing. He's somewhere there. He's the man that has been roving with the mic.
And we are joined now by Kevon Bodie, player of the match in this game, match number 3, as we wrap up round number 1 of the Guyana T20, Guyana T20 festival. Now, how are you feeling? The body holding up?
Yeah, man. It's good. It's good to get victory.
Yeah.
That you play a good game.
Well, congratulations on the player of the match performance as well, leading your charges here today. You said winning start for your side. That must do something good for your entire team.
Yes, we discussed it. We want to start on a winning note, so we did that.
What was the discussion? I mean, you batted well in the first half of the game. What was the discussion in the second half before you guys went out the field?
It's just to bowl stump to stump, because when you get the batsman with it's easy to score. So, and just keep the pressure all the time. That's all.
All right, and notice you have the mittens there well strapped. How are the fingers?
Little tacky.
Little tacky. All right, so the next game is going to be a day game as we go deeper into this tournament. 5 rounds of competition. Your thoughts on this tournament?
It's a good one so far. So let's hope it could be better, and we could get better performances as well.
All right, so one more game on the lights. Will you stay to look on that one or what?
Not sure yet.
All right, so congratulations to yourself and to the team. Go well again.
Thank you.
All right, so good play of the match performance from Kevon Bodie, 70. And quite a knock it was to lead his side to victory in match number 3 as we wrap up round number 1. All right, we begin round number 2 on the lights a bit later on. But for now, let's hand it back upstairs.
Well, thank you very much, John Ramsing, getting hold here of Kevon Bodie. Just to remind you that the Anacondas inflicted a 33-run victory over the Piranhas. And the match coming up tonight at 7 p.m. Essequibo Jaguars against the Berbice Caimans. Until then, stay tuned.